Hi everyone, welcome to episode 4 of the Off Meta podcast. Welcome back, we're glad to have you with us. And today we'll be talking about the Mythic Plus rotation. Chai, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, so we'll jump straight into it. And like you said, we're going to be talking about the Mythic Plus rotation. And the first thing we'll touch upon is the dungeon pool. So I think we'll kick us off talking about Cindermead Brewery, I always say, but it's actually Cinderbrew Meadery. I think we should rename this, petition to rename this, guys. But yeah, so we'll
No.
start off with this dungeon. What are your thoughts on this dungeon? The difficulty? How do you find it?
Good question. Good question. I feel like in the beginning it was like hard but easy. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I guess like there's a lot of like mega pulls I feel you can do.
Yeah.
So in that sense, stuff became harder. But then as you weren't doing it, it was pretty easy.
To me, it felt like the most overtuned dungeon, like the whole way through. I guess I've only done up to like 10s and stuff, but so I'm not sure what happens in higher keys. But to me, it's just always felt like the outlier. It's felt like the Stone Vault to me of this season.
Yeah. I think that first room is very yeah. I don't know how to explain it.
That's
That's how I would explain it as well.
There's a lot.
Words.
that was exactly
Scary.
the point I was going to make too. I'm actually in favour of it though. I kind of like knowing whether or not the key's going to foul immediately rather than finding out on the third boss.
So,
Yeah,
my
I guess that's
opinion,
fair.
I really actually like keys where you can actually pull big. It feels really cool as any group to do large pulls. So it's kind of on Blizzard to, I guess, make that a possibility in dungeons. Things like the other side, where you're in the Ardenweald area, could put like mass amounts of deer and whatever they were. And then the first pull of that dungeon kind of feels a little bit like that. Also, the first room kind of feels like that, where you can pull a lot. So I'm kind of here for it, where you could do like big pulls. But obviously, yeah.
We'll probably touch on that later, but I think the olden days of those huge pulls felt good because we didn't have this awkward feeling of target capping at like 5 targets, 7 targets, whatever it is, and then uncapped. We'll probably go over that later,
sure.
but yeah.
Improve Blizzard OP.
Yeah. That first
Uh,
boss, well, with Chef Chewy, that boss, that mob just flipping. The
I don't even
flipping.
understand, to be honest. He's just dealing damage for no reason.
I mean,
Slap.
I mean, he buffs everyone,
He's
right?
cooking us. He's
Yeah.
cooking
He
us.
buffs
that's what
he
he's
buffs
doing.
all the mobs near him by like 15%. He gives them a 15% damage jump.
How we do it.
Yeah, and he's immune to like
45
CC and
weeks?
everything. So yeah, he causes everyone to slap.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty rough early on, I think, but again, it is one of those things. I'd rather find out early whether or not we're gonna completely destroy the key.
I'd also rather find out early in the season whether I ever want to do that dungeon again.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You
Also,
need the neck. You need the neck.
Yeah, you
needless
don't
to
have
say,
a choice, dude.
I don't think I've been there since I timed it on a 10. So it's probably my least
Yeah.
done dungeon of the tier.
yeah, I don't think I've been there recently. It just always felt like
Yeah.
pain.
Why is there one option? Like, why is this the only dungeon with like a neck that everybody wants? Why could we not have?
There's another one. I can't remember. Crit Verse one. Is that the one from Dark Flame? I think it's Dark Flame. Drops the
Doesn't.
neck.
Yeah. Okay.
Dark
There is one
Flame.
more, but
Everyone wants
isn't
ace,
it terrible
right? Everyone wants
stats?
ace,
Like,
actually.
yeah.
It's crit heavy verse, I think.
Yeah, so terrible for most people.
Yeah.
'Cause everyone wants
Maybe,
Unless you're a rogue.
maybe Guardian Druid and Outlaw Rogue, and like everyone
Yeah.
else, get yourself into Cinderbrew, right? Like that's
True.
rough.
Basically, yeah. Or craft.
Or get lucky in the raid.
Or get, yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of strange.
Are there
Not going to
any
lie.
other like? Sorry, go on.
I was seeing nothing.
Are there any other like difficult points in that dungeon that stand out to any of you guys, or is it just that first pull that like makes or breaks the key?
I think everything.
Uh.
Like the bosses, right? The bosses themselves are just like awkward. The first boss, like It just feels like it does a lot of damage. Second boss feels awkward because of the ads. They've definitely tuned it down. They've definitely made it better.
I feel like the
Um,
bosses are relatively easy. It's very much like a trash dungeon. There's that one pull just before the bee boss, like as you go through the doorway, like that pack can be quite dangerous. But I think that's about it. Nothing else really worries me.
It depends on how spicy you want to make it, because you can pull a lot of the charging guys when you go to IPA, and you can have a good time.
I mean, yeah, you can overpull it and make it spicy, but there's not too much reason to overpull.
I don't think
I
that's even
most
the case, right? In the part he's talking about, is it the hop goblins, the ones that can do the charge? Like, if you have people
Yeah.
that just aren't paying attention, it doesn't matter whether you want to make it spicy. They're sending them into the entire room filled with mobs that you're going to be dealing with.
Oh yeah.
Like,
And then they
That
spawn
happened a few
ads.
times.
When they like collide with the wall, right? They just
Yeah.
spawn ads, and then kind of screwed.
The best is those mobs, that send the honey volley into the hyena
Oh,
AoE.
yeah.
So you're just
Oh
slowed.
yeah.
Oh yes, yeah.
Honey volley like 90% slow. Good luck if you don't have.
Yeah.
Good luck, priests. Good luck. Have fun, guys. Have fun. Anyone else, you're fine. But good lord.
Yeah, I think for the dungeon rotation, that is probably one of my least favorites, I would say.
I think I would like it more if it had more. Like if if the neck wasn't like the one thing that everyone wanted from the dungeon. Because I feel like when you're coming into the dungeon, you're already like trying to compete with everyone instead of like completing the dungeon.
Yeah, I mean, early on,
That's what I felt.
when it was even, if you had it timed, people were still asking you before they were accepting you for like sevens, like, can you trade the neck? Even if
Yeah.
you timed it like way above that, they didn't care. They just wanted the neck.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the dungeon itself, honestly. The first boss is not my favorite, but it's also like pretty stale. Like none of the bosses are particularly exciting. But I guess that's any boss in a dungeon, to be honest.
I think those
Boss is
bosses.
annoying.
Which one?
The first one, just
Yeah,
with like the little circles of wind that just like constantly chase you.
Oh
As
yeah,
you're
the
in there.
brawls.
that's what I was going to say about all of them. To be honest, I feel like all of them aren't particularly hard, like mechanically.
No.
But I feel like one little wrong move from something or someone can turn the boss from being like 100% clearable to I feel like you're always on the knife's edge just of chaos, like always when you're doing any of those bosses in that dungeon. And I don't know what it is about it, but it just feels like just all of the bosses feel like that in there.
I think it's like because they have like a teamwork element. Like everyone has to do like that first boss, right? It's like you want majority of your group, maybe not the healer, if they're struggling with healing. You want them to all grab the drink so
brew.
they can give it to the patrons, right?
Mm.
If one person doesn't do that, it just makes that phase so much longer. And then the second boss, you have the bees, right? You want people to jump on the bees and break the barrels, and if one or two people don't do that, it just makes it much harder.
Also, on
So
that,
there's like,
can I just jump in on that? I hate that Guardian Druid has to come out of form to send those bees. Every other tank, you just jump on the bee and send it. Like, why am I getting one
Jumping on
shot
that
for
as a
trying to
tank?
do it? Dude, I was doing it.
Doing it as a tank.
No, as a warrior, dude, it's easy. You just let your team keep blasting because they're gonna do it anyway, and just ignore the mechanic. So at least I can deal with it. But as a bear, you just die. Like it's over.
I'm so
So you're
surprised
telling me
you're doing
you're
it as a
doing
tank.
something that tanks aren't supposed to do, and you're complaining because
I'm just saying, don't
because you
punish me.
can't survive.
Don't punish me.
Yeah,
That's
you
all I'm
shouldn't be
saying.
allowed either. That's not right. You shouldn't be allowed to
Wait, do
mount
you-
in bear form. That's crazy,
Do you
dude. Don't even
switch forms when you're in Moonkin and doing that?
Moonkin can mount,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
that would
different.
probably explain why. Yeah.
which also shouldn't be allowed.
Oh,
Don't start. Don't start. I don't want to hear it from these paladins.
simpler
what do we
times,
think?
simpler times.
What do you think? Where are we putting it, guys?
I think
D tier, bruv.
D tier. Immediate D
Straight in
tier.
the D tier. It's the worst dungeon of this, and I can't believe I'm saying that when Theatre of Pain is there. Like, holy moly. Like,
Put it this way, it's no Shadow Moon Burial Ground.
Oh,
B tier for Bis necklace tier.
what I
I'm
would
putting it in
give to
B.
have back a Shadow Moon Burial Ground. I swear.
You don't give it a good score because it drops a good item.
Yeah, no,
D.
we're rating the dungeon, not
Bottom.
the loot.
Yeah, D tier. Put it at the bottom. If you could add like 5 like invisible dungeons and then put it all the way to the right, that's where it would be.
Alright, Adam, are you prepared
Oh
to be the
my
voice of
God.
reason here?
I'd probably say C tier, but I'd be fine with D tier.
Oof, that's
Why do you
damning.
not like my rating?
That's-
B for
that's
Bis
bleak.
tier is good.
Did you say B for B tier?
I mean that too, dude. Honestly, C for Cinderbrew Meadery tier.
no, dude. If it wasn't for the puns and the theme, this would be in a new category on its own. Honestly.
The BEO makes me want to put it at C.
Yeah, I did like that.
Imagine with this
that's what- that's-
BEO.
That's why it's in B, dude. That's why it's
Theme
in
doesn't
B.
make the dungeon. Theme doesn't make the dungeon good.
Okay,
That's not,
okay,
no, that's
okay,
not
okay.
a B
It
tier
does
dungeon.
kind
Whoa,
of.
whoa,
It does
whoa.
kind of. To be fair, it does.
It does kind of, but
we
you know.
need a little bit of flavor is important.
I agree.
Oh, I agree. Put the flavor. Don't make the dungeon shit.
True. Right, Dark Flame Cleft.
Dark Flame is rough.
So
But fun.
going into this season, I genuinely thought I was going to hate this dungeon, but actually, it's probably turned out to be like top 3. I'd say top 3,
Whoa.
top 4. Let's say top 4. The mechanic I thought was going to be the most annoying was the minecart. I still don't like it, but I don't think it ruins the dungeon. But I think part of that, my opinion on that, has come from the fact that the dungeon is easier, and it feels like the time is like okay. Doesn't feel like you're rushed for time whenever you're doing it. So I feel like, in my opinion, that kind of makes me gives me a bit of favor towards it.
Did they increase the cart speed or like I feel like I remember
They
They have
changed
made
it from
a few
heroic
changes.
since the beginning of the expansion. They made it they made a lot of tweaks to it. So
Yeah.
that's why it probably feels different than what you remembered from like other dungeons. I don't know exactly what was done, but they've definitely tweaked it
I feel like I
and
remember
sped it
that.
up.
It used to like stop, right? And now it just continues if you keep on feeding it.
I think it used to stop if you get into combat completely,
Dude,
and now it
yeah.
doesn't.
That's a make or break it right there, dude.
How you can go
Keep feeding
crazy
it
with
too much, you go all the way to the end. You
Yeah.
have fun with like 8 corridor creepers, 4,000 horrible horrors or whatever they're called. And a bunch of little boys that just bombas the ground.
Yeah, I was expecting to hate it a lot more, but I think we only did it like the one time in the first season, and we just like screwed it up horribly.
Oh,
But yeah, it's actually been all right. I still hate the second boss, the one with like the candles.
Yeah.
But the rest of it's fine.
That one is like crazy. I can't believe it was bugged. And it was actually easier, and then they made like it became how it was supposed to be. And it was a really hard like healing check. Like probably too hard.
This dungeon.
And
For,
now it's back to being like I don't know. I mean, it's kind of it's difficult.
this for me feels like 2 very different dungeons, depending on who you're doing it with. If you're pugging this with randoms who just don't have like skills on their bar, this can be rough. Like the third boss, dude, like I can only beam once every minute. Like if they're not gonna kick, we're getting feared into oblivion. Like, but
Yeah.
if you're doing it like above a 10 and people can kick and stuff, I feel like this dungeon feels very free. It's as close as we get to a Shadow Moon Burial Grounds.
On a 10,
You
you're
think
good.
so?
On a 7 or a 6, not good. I love it
Honestly,
on that Blazicon boss when the tank decides to move out of melee and it just one shots me. Great.
I killed
worth all
Nukon with that. I heroic leaped from one side
Yeah.
where it wasn't safe to the safe side where he was, and like mid leap, the boss just slapped him instead and killed him. It was good.
I don't really understand it either, but it is what it is. Like, that's why it kind of sucks when you have mobs that don't move or bosses that don't move, because they're all like that. They all have that mechanic. If you take one step too far back as a tank, like it just slaps you. I feel like the boss's like reach should be slightly further, unless the fact that you jumped caused it think that you were out of range or something. I don't know. Maybe something funky went on there, but yeah, kind of sucks if you're a tank and you take like one step because you're dodging tornadoes back, and then your DPS just gets like slapped because you've
I feel like that
walked
shouldn't be
one step
funky
back.
though.
Yeah,
Or jumping over the boss shouldn't make it like, oh, he disappeared, I guess.
yeah, no,
You
definitely shouldn't.
slapped this paladin.
Definitely
He's
shouldn't.
shiny.
But yeah, I think it does matter. Also, something that's not really applicable to this per se, but have you guys noticed that every dungeon just feels infinitely harder when you're doing it on lower keys now? Like when you do it on +2s and 3s?
Yeah.
I
I'm
feel
not-
like they've buffed the on ramp. It feels like the twos are kind of what they wanted to have twos start being last season. So it feels like if you start with a character that's lower than like 620 or 630 or something, they're doable. Don't get me wrong, but you definitely feel like stuff has a lot of health, and you need to like actually do mechanics where twos in the past, I guess, before they made the squish, you could basically like ignore everything and you'd be fine.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like I was trying. So my rogue was freshly dinged and it had no gear, and I was just trying out some keys. Same for my paladin, and like the 3 to 5 band is just hell. Like if you're in there, you're just suffering.
It's also because of like, if you're doing tens, right, you're gonna have people who are so like pugs. You're gonna have them who are they're gonna be so overgeared, right, because they just want to get weeklies.
Yeah.
If you're doing sevens or like sixes, sometimes there's like overgeared people who just want to like blast to get
Crests.
crests, or they want a specific trinket like in Priory on the heroic level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just feels too, I don't know, it feels too punishing at that level. It doesn't really matter for us, right? Worst case scenario, we can just like carry each other's alts through dungeons to get like weekly vaults until it's geared up and stuff. But I don't know, I feel like if you're a solo player or you're someone that just plays very casually, that bracket would make me not want to go further. Because you can't see it getting better, right? You go from a 2, and even if you time it, say you like 2 chest it, you're then in a 4. And then you do the 4, and you're just like, what is going on? Why does this feel so much harder?
I think
And
it's like a
I'm,
bad combination of a lot of people that there's either people who are playing on alts with absolutely zero gear, and they're like, yeah, of course I'm gonna like tank a +5 on my 620 character and think that's gonna be fine. And maybe it is fine. I don't know. But usually most of the time in my experience it's not.
Yeah, I would agree.
Surely
And
no one in here would do that, cough cough.
dude, I remember you guys, like I was freshly dinged in Dragonflight on my DK. It's like, yeah, of course you're gonna tag this +17. Like, what?
It was fine.
But
You got blue gear, you're
I,
good.
yeah, of course that's not the pugging experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's something like, I feel like, oh right, and then there's also the element of like people that are either like don't really play, or sorry, they play very casually, so they've just gotten to this point. Basically they have like their tier set going on, but they just don't know anything else of what's going on. And there's probably a lot of people that don't even play with like DBM or big wigs. There's probably people that don't even play with weak auras. There's probably people who just aren't aware like how to play PvE at like an M plus level.
that's me when I play my rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The other issue is as well, right, is that if you do like, it's just a coin flip in like with random people. Because if I'm someone new to M plus, right, and I put my key up, and then blasters join, or like people who are really good join, and I do the key, and I'm in this dungeon, I don't even need to know any mechanics because we just blast through it. And then the next time I do the dungeon, I'm with people who are not as geared, and I have no idea what the mechanics are, and neither do they. And it's just
Yeah, I guess
That's always going to be
I
a
feel
thing.
like
the point
this
is
is
that
another topic.
I'm making is that I think it's like, I think the difficulty is unfairly skewed at the bottom end. Like I said, it doesn't really affect us, right? Like,
Yeah.
I just thought it was a funny experience because I did a couple of dungeons back to back and it was the same experience. But
Yeah.
for us, it doesn't matter, right? For us, it's funny. But if that was my only way to play the game and all I was getting was a dice roll. Say I can do like 2 or 3 keys a night, and I'm just dice rolling, and the people I'm getting are not able to complete 4s. I feel like we probably need to look at that sort of difficulty floor and like try and help people get through it.
Oh shit, dude.
He's gone crazy.
Oh,
Uh,
can you hear Kitty? Yeah, that's my
So,
cat in the
I mean-
background. Sorry, guys.
Join a guild. Best advice that you could do.
Yeah, but that's
And
Some
what
people
I,
just want to play on their own.
that's also what I don't agree with in this scenario. Like, if you want to play alone, right? Mythic Plus should be suited towards that. Like, I get it if you want to push high end. If you want to go for like the top, like high keys, if you're going above a 10, then yeah, for sure, find a guild, find a group of people to play with. But a +4, I think, is very unreasonable to say to people like, you now need to commit to finding a guild that will play with you and stuff.
2 to
No, I
5
think-
should be
Yes, that's fair.
absolutely forgiving, right? You
Yeah.
should absolutely be able to go in with, in my opinion, next to no gear. I guess zeros are put in for the fact that they want you to do them to gear. But if you go and do all the zeros, it feels like you get no loot, even if you do like a world tour. They've changed them to a weekly lockout now, so you can only do them once a week. And then, like, how you then supposed to get gear if you get like a couple of pieces, you know?
I
the-
mean,
there's so
Oh.
many ways to get gear right
yeah,
now.
there are alternatives. You got delves, you got world bosses, you got like
I don't
you got
agree.
Nightfall.
I'm not
got
ever going to agree with the
island.
lockout. The lockout changing from daily
Sure.
back to weekly is just not. It's
I
not
feel like
acceptable.
it's removing an option to get gear.
Yeah.
Like if you don't want to go and run around on the what's that island called? The Goblin
Siren Isle?
Island. Yeah, Siren Isle. If you don't want to do that, if you don't want to do that, then you should be able to just blast M0 World Tours times 18 Kaioken.
I think for a daily
see.
that's acceptable for people. Like if you're trying to gear up alts and stuff, I think a daily lockout on that is fine.
Also, the gear isn't that
Mhm.
high. It doesn't like,
Work.
it's not good gear, right? So it's not like you're, gaining a massive benefit by it being like a daily lockout.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no reason for it to be weekly. I don't know why they've left it there. I don't know how many people would actually do zeros, but
I think there's a big market for it
where
because
they
it's
are
not
right
timed,
now.
right?
People are still buying
Yeah,
it, right? People are buying boosts for it, so there's definitely people
Mm.
out there that need it. It's just a very convenient way to gear up alts, and I see no reason why you would want to disincentivize that. I enjoyed it in season 1 for my alts. I would log on,
It's
do a
just
few
chill as
zeros.
well, right?
Exactly.
There's no timer. I think it's
There's-
good that it's
yeah,
like
there's just
slightly
no
challenging.
reason for it to be where it is.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't trying to
Uh,
detract, but I thought that was something I wanted to share. Because if I'm thinking that range of keys are annoying, there's no way that the people who are genuinely doing that as their progression are enjoying that.
Yeah, no.
It also feels like when you're at that low level, like when I the first week of this season, I did a +2 workshop, and we didn't know that you had to kill the 2 bosses together, because previously you just like nuked the one down and then killed the other one and it was fine. But now there's that mechanic that, if you kill one before the other, it gives you like a debuff or whatever it does, like ticking damage,
Yeah.
increasing ticking damage. And we ended up wiping and then more or less failing a 2. I don't remember if it was fail, but it was a while ago now. But we basically got close to failing a 2, and I was like, damn, this feels a lot harder than like I remember last season, like 2s being.
All right.
that's
Should we rate this
yeah,
Dark
I
Flame Clef?
guess
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I like the Cobalt vibes. Null takes my candle all the
That's because
time.
you're a mole person.
I'm not a mole person.
You are.
If Niffen dropped, I would probably make only one like character.
Okay.
And that would be your main.
But if Cobalt dropped, dude, literally race changing all of them. I'm spending hundreds.
All right. Where
I'd
we
say
put it?
B.
Oh, a B. Okay.
It's not the best, but it's not the worst. I surprised myself with that as well.
I
Like
would
it's
say
good
B as
tier.
well.
Where am I putting that?
I would say B or even low A.
Put it there
Oh,
for now. See what people think.
Whoa.
Put it in the B.
From a
We can
healer,
adjust.
from a healer
Controversial
perspective,
opinions.
from a healer perspective, this dungeon is actually fun though.
Yeah.
Like,
What, Dark Flame?
yeah, that third fight, holy moly! You got to be comfortable with the Candle King boss. You got to be comfortable with the health bars being low because the rot damage is
yeah.
icy.
I wonder
Good.
if,
Yeah, I
do
like
you
it.
think druids have it easier on that fight?
Yes.
Yeah. Possibly. Because they got hearts, right? You're just chilling. You're just going to cat form, doing some damage.
Okay. Do some casual cat weaving. Some casual cat weaving.
Honestly, Floodgate. I actually like Floodgate a lot.
I think it's pretty good. bosses.
Floodgate S tier, bro.
S
Floodgate's
tier?
S tier. S tier, dude. What a dungeon. What a dungeon. What a
S
dungeon.
tier.
Dude, they knocked it. S tier, bro. S super.
Mm,
Why is it
Surprising.
S?
Because, dude,
Super.
it's the theme, the bosses, the trash, like the stuff you're doing in the dungeon, those flipping rotating blades that hit melee every time and they got to move every 0.5 seconds. Like,
Do you know Bubbles Enjoyer?
yeah, I feel
yeah,
like
I love Bubbles. I love when my team just spreads everywhere and then Bubbles is tanked on the bridge. It's the best. Like,
you guys
The
see that you
first-
can skip that. Actually, you can skip bubbles if you want.
Yeah, you can skip,
No,
but
dude,
why
I
would you
like-
skip Bubbles? You gotta
why
pay
would I skip
respect.
Bubbles, dude? It's part of the immersion.
Hey,
Yeah.
respect.
Beautiful dungeon.
It's
No,
a part of the
I,
dungeon.
I
Only
really
thing
like this
I'm
dungeon.
getting
S
immersion is
tier.
an ice cold bath, like ice cold
The
face
goblins
thing.
that build that little scaffold.
7 a.m. in the morning.
Scaffold.
I remember the first time I did this dungeon, we went in, I'm pretty sure we went in blind. And we were with one of our guildies who was so sweet. And we got to Bubbles, and someone got hit by the bubble, and they, like, I don't think they actually died, but they was basically on 1 health. And it's like, no, we're lusting this, we're not doing this again. Just
my God.
everyone panicked.
The first time I did it, we pulled Bubbles and then like the 2 packs afterwards. You know, there's like little goblin guys just afterwards. And I was just doing it with someone. He's just like, that is an illegal pull. Like, you should not be doing that. I hadn't done it before, so I didn't know how bad Bubbles was. But yeah, it was only a 7, I think, like week 2 or something. So it wasn't like a super high key, but
That was the
it
first time we
definitely
did
felt
floodgates.
scary. Yeah.
Didn't we do a world tour?
No.
No, we did
We
like 3
didn't,
dungeons,
actually?
right? And then people had to go.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
The plan was a world tour, but we couldn't do it.
I'm
Yeah.
blaming you, Chime.
Big fan of this
I
dungeon, dude.
think this dungeon's dropped from like an S to an A for me.
Oh,
But
I don't think it's S.
Oh, we're getting beat here, Joe. We're getting beat.
Wait, if
and
what?
I mean, even that's only as a DPS. As a healer, I'm putting this in like E tier.
No, dude. What?
I hate healing this dungeon. It's
Why?
just
You're
everything.
not even melee.
To be
You're not even
fair.
a melee healer.
To be fair, in this dungeon's defense, the reason he hates healing it is because when he heals it, it's me tanking. And I'm just like, let's try and pull as much stuff as possible just to see if we can survive. And
That's part of it, but I feel there's just so much damage going out all the time.
Yeah,
Like
there is a lot of
first
damage.
boss, you have like the damage phase where you just like everyone's taking 1,000,000 damage, and then freaking
I feel like
I did the last
It's
boss.
not like
when
that at all, though.
Literally, the first thing he does is just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna ult right now, dude. I'm bloodlusting on pull, and I'm the boss. Fuck all y'all.
I did that boss I did that dungeon the first time healing, and I really didn't know what the hell I was doing, and like I did not feel like there's a lot of healing to do. There's a couple of bosses that there's a lot of healing to do, like I forgot what his name is, the one in the water where you get like linked to someone.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what his name is, but that guy, that one is a horrendous boss. I hate that boss so much, but
yeah,
other than
there's
that, I
like
feel like the rest of them are fine.
there's a
Rod
bunch
face.
of damage when the tidal waves are going out, and
It's
you
just
can't
rot, right?
heal it.
Cure rot, and then you have to move like all the time, and then you're linked to someone.
Yeah, like
Maybe
when
get
he
linked with a
slams,
DH.
this AoE damage, and then if you get hit by one of the waters, you're screwed.
Yeah, and if
Mm.
you're a
And then the
DH,
waves.
you're just flying about all over the place, and you're getting gripped all over the place, and gripping someone else all over the place. It's good,
Yep.
dude. And good, big fan.
I've given up. I've accepted defeat on that boss. I initially was part of the team that was advocating for common sense, but now I just move left, even if it means I have to run through and get hit by what we're trying to dodge.
Yeah, just go left.
Yeah.
If everyone goes left, it's easy.
Yeah, I mean, I've had
Honestly-
cases where me and the person I'm linked to are already outside of the line on the right hand side, and they'll run through it and go left. I'm like, all right, dude.
Yeah, but if everyone agrees to go left and everyone just goes left, then it's fine.
If you're already out and you're already linked together, just stay out.
Go left
No,
into the
just go
fire.
left.
Yeah,
just go
yeah.
left, just go
I've
left.
had people go left and get hit and die. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, but
I
it's
mean,
fine as long as you're still tethered. As long as you both went left in one person.
Yeah, I'm
I,
accepting defeat. Common sense lost this one.
I think there's big
Yeah,
pools in this dungeon
I'm
as
the
well,
same.
which is why it's fun as well.
Like the first pull is pretty massive, isn't it? I feel
Yeah.
like that's quite a fun thing again, where you go in, you don't have to like save cooldowns. You go in, everyone pops their cooldowns, blasts, lusts, and you just like, yeah, shoot sky high on the meters.
I gotta say, I'm not. I don't think I feel like any of the dungeon vibes as much anymore. I feel like my opinion is a bit more toned down when it comes to all of the dungeons. This
Right.
dungeon, I also like. I don't really care. Like, what's even happening in the dungeon? You're fighting some mech suit goblin into like a pair of goblins into like some swamp monster into another goblin. I don't really care what's happening in the dungeon, you know.
But is
So
it
in terms
fun?
of vibes,
That's what really matters.
I don't know. I feel like maybe I don't think any dungeons are fun. I do like blasting. I do like blasting. So whenever I'm blasting, that's fun.
Number go up, good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I
I
don't know.
don't think we can put it in S. It's not an S tier.
All right, all right,
dungeon.
all
We
right,
can put it
all
there.
right. We'll settle for A.
Do we
We'll
think it's A?
compromise. I'm not going lower than A. Like that's ridiculous.
The
You
S,
wanna-
when I'm saying S here, I'm saying S in this rotation.
Yeah, we're not saying
Like,
overall. We're comparing these against each other.
Because
Hmm.
yeah, I think that's. I think
Yeah,
they knocked
that's
it out of the
fair.
park, to be honest, with the
I
mid-season.
feel like I can
dungeon.
say A. I can't get behind it as an S.
That's crazy. You're crazy. All right, we'll compromise on A.
I feel like you guys are choosing it because of the theme, but like
You're crazy
Yeah.
if that's what you think.
I mean, yeah.
I'm just.
I'm
it's
talking about the
A.
practicalities. Team doesn't make everything. I don't want to
No,
like
no, no.
go in and
Let
like
me
if
say,
there's
the
shit
trash-
fights, then
The trash is interesting, right? All the trash is interesting. There's big pools. The bosses are all interesting as well. And then the theme on top of it is what moves it from an A to S. Boom.
I feel
no.
like it's the easiest dungeon to overtime though, as well.
Plus, you get the Goblin Glide in it.
I don't know. Nah, dude. Operation Mechagon is the easiest one to overtime by far. I've been
I've
there.
never forgiven Blizzard when they took away Goblin Glider and Dungeons in Legion. That really annoyed me because they didn't want people to have to do it in Mythic Plus. They took it out like week 3 or something, season 1, and it really, really annoyed me.
Wasn't that Eye of Ashara? Is that what was it? Eye of Ashara people using it
Yeah,
for?
and I have a try you could Goblin Glide
Yeah,
down like to
I
the
remember.
second boss, but
So are we saying
and
that
people were
this
doing
is,
it.
Just put up
is
an
this
invisible wall.
is this cemented as an A then?
Cemented. I
I'm
don't
saying
know.
it can't go higher
Let's
than
go
an A.
back.
It's
Let's
compromised.
circle back.
It's a compromise, eh?
They've compromised
I see.
operation.
Yeah, we're being sabotaged.
We need the
That's
other
okay.
two's
Change.
opinions.
As a middle manager would say, let's circle back.
Oh god. All right.
Hmm.
Priory. What do you reckon on Priory? I am a fan of Priory. I'll be honest.
I like the vibe.
I like-
really
am
like
a
about
sucker-
it?
I am a sucker for the vibe, dude. It's
first-
it's like Scarlet Monastery, like budget.
The first pull,
version.
the theme,
Gotcha.
all of the bosses, but basically only the last one. It's pretty fun.
I'm gonna say S tier just because of the theme.
Dude,
Yo,
relax,
yo,
relax.
yo,
Don't be spiting last year.
I'm gonna say,
Dude, it's S for Sacred Flame.
No,
okay?
I'm joking. It's not an S. It's not an S.
I'll
It's
say
just-
S tier just because those paladins in there don't have bubble.
Yeah, true.
Wait. But they do have Divine Toll or Sacred Toll,
That's true.
which
Give
is
them
Divine Toll, but better.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the dungeon. I don't feel like any of the bosses are that bullshit.
No, dude.
That's because you haven't done the dude on the right.
I've been out of the fucking-
I have.
When?
We did it the first time.
Yeah, I know. Have you done it since?
We did it. Yeah, I think I did it with one group since.
I'm not a fan of Baron Braun Pike.
Okay,
dude.
just because he's not part of the rotation doesn't mean that the dungeon is bad. Okay.
No, I'm just saying. That's why you haven't
gonna
done it.
kill
You
all
haven't
of the
done
ads like in every dungeon. No, you choose your route.
it. They nerfed it. They nerfed it. I don't actually
Yeah.
know what it's like
yeah,
after
but
the
I
nerf,
think
but
they nerfed it too late because people are we're a habitual people. Okay?
I think it's fair to say this can't go above below Dark Flame Cleft. Like,
No, it's
There's
A. I
no
think
way.
the theme is on point, and
Yeah.
compared to what we thought this dungeon was going to be absolutely horrendous, right? Because of how it was on like
If-
M0.
Yeah, but the
If they,
consecrations were like invisible,
yeah,
right? No,
yeah.
they
Yeah.
aren't.
if they didn't change that consecrate scaling as well, if it did the same damage on 0 and scaled up,
Yeah.
people, this would be a solid D tier dungeon.
You just insta one bang if they hadn't changed the consecration, you'd just stand in it. And if they
Yeah.
hadn't changed the visuals on it, right, you used to just plop down before you'd even noticed it, and then half your health was gone before you realized, and then by the time you got out, you were dead. So
Mm.
This is the third dungeon though that has a juicy first pull.
yeah,
Like
I'm here for it.
first
I'm here
pull
for the
is
juicy
juicy,
first pulls.
and it's also
You
like
don't
where
have to.
majority of the keys fail.
Yeah,
Yeah,
again,
that is true.
I'd rather fail it early. Just let everyone
feel
know
like-
this is what it is.
You know who
In
you're
a
dealing with.
sense, I feel like this pull is juicier than the Cinder Brew pull, which is I
Oh,
feel like statistically wrong.
it depends on
that's
who
what
you're
I
playing with.
feel.
No,
yeah.
Yeah, because all of I mean, especially in pugs. I mean, then both are dog water, anyways. But I just feel
honestly,
like when they're all jumping around and everything is like a little bit everywhere. Unlike Cinderbrew, where it's like all concise, it's like a death ball in Cinderbrew. Here it's like kind of a little bit spread out, more annoying. They shoot you with their guns. It's
the
freaking
issue
annoying,
is
40%.
Priory. If you have a good group and a brave tank, you'll still probably pull it off. If in Cinderbrew, if you have a good group and like a brave tank, I don't know, that's a little bit scary. If he starts going, oh, I'll pull all of this side and half the other side, Chewie wanders in, like, oh,
Yeah, if Chew wanders into you're screwed.
we've had
No
some
one's
rough
pulling all
times.
that, dude.
Dude, I've seen it
I
more than
remember.
a handful of times. It's been rough.
That's an
Yeah.
accident. That's not on purpose.
Been
No one's
rough
doing
in
that
those
on
fi-
purpose.
It's been rough in those fives, dude. Where they put it all
I wish, dude. I wish it was a 5.
Dude, back when like spamming +7s was my go-to, I was in Cinderbrew. There was a Demon Hunter tank. Holy shit! I've never seen a cleaner Cinderbrew pull in my life. That was smoother than the smoothest whiskey you've ever had. It was smoother than a baby's butt cheek. It was smoother than famous jazz singer voice. Like it was crazy. It was crazy, and I want that again.
I'm still gonna say like how this dungeon's really good, but that first boss just feels like trash. It doesn't feel like a boss.
Oh
yeah,
It
I
just feels like
agree.
another mini boss, and that kind of lets it down. And then the second boss,
Mm.
I don't like this boss at all, dude. With this flipping hammers on the floor, that's fine, you move, but the soak thing,
The
oh,
soak, if you wait for the shield, is
So
so
you can
easy
wait,
though.
right?
Like,
Yeah,
if you
Yeah,
don't,
you
it's
just wait.
chaos. It's absolute chaos
Yeah.
if you don't wait.
If
dude,
you
I
soak
love
it.
when
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I was in the group with Herax, and we had a tank paladin who was he was so like confident. He was like, "I'll take the second one," and he just soaked all of them back to back. And it was just,
But even then, that's why, right? If you do it back to back, when the hammers have gone out and is it castigate or something?
Yeah, shield.
The circles on the floor, castigate shield, yeah.
Yeah.
That stuff.
Yeah, you just wait until the shield drops and then
Rex.
you're
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
I think
Because no
BO.
one knows how to look at their timers.
I think B or A is fair for this dungeon. To be honest, probably I'd lean more towards A just because of the theme. But
Yeah,
if we're not rating just
Yeah.
theme, B.
I do agree with the first boss. It kind of feels like what's a Legion dungeon? What's his name? What is his name? In Suramar, Night? No, not
oh,
Nightfall.
Court of Stars.
Arc? Yeah, Court of Stars. It's the same vibe, right? When you get to that one part and you have to kill all the patrols, and then they send out a little mini boss, and then you
Oh, I
fight
see
the
what you're
last
saying.
boss, and the last boss
Yeah.
is like, oh, you need to pixel stack and then move, and then pixel stack and then move.
Yeah.
Honestly, I like that one more than this one. This one is
Yeah.
like a very much a budget version of that boss.
I
Yeah.
think
Like,
B's
oh
okay.
yeah, here's some AoE damage. Congrats. Watch out for the spear. Grats.
Yeah, now we're talking about it.
yeah.
The bosses actually really let this dungeon down.
Yeah.
even last boss, what is it? Just turn around for 1 second.
Yeah, yeah,
You
literally.
get chased by something, and then you get annihilated by the mobs that come in, the cult
And you gotta
boys.
go upstairs, like
Yeah.
They are a pain. Oh my.
Yeah, but the theme though.
Don't send me back.
He's on the team still. He's going back to the team. He's
I don't really-
advocating.
I don't understand Theater of Pain, like, or Mechagon. Well, Mechagon, no, I don't really understand why those dungeons are even brought back. Mudlord I can kind of understand, it's like a goblin patch, like, kind of makes sense, but those ones don't really make any sense to me. Maybe there's some more lore that I don't really understand it, but I don't know. They felt kind of like, we've already had a Mechagon come back, like, I don't think we needed to have it come back again when there's other dungeons that they could be using in the pool. Theater, I don't mind. It's definitely better than what it used to be, let's put it that way.
Honestly,
In terms of difficulty.
the problem is very clear. The problem is all the stuff we said that we liked about the other dungeons doesn't exist in Theater. You can't do these Giga
Yeah.
first pulls. You can't have
Yeah.
like this crazy fun. It's just, oh yeah, you skip the first pack, pull in the ball with the boss. The same route we've been doing since Shadowlands. Just everyone kill these few mobs at a time. There's that one room
Yeah.
with the jumping things like.
It's like 3 or 4. The most you really do is the pack with the Abomination. You go in there, right? There's that one big pull at the beginning,
Yeah,
and then maybe a big pull just before the boss.
yeah, on the bridge you mean.
And that's basically it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, like all the other pulls are like what 4 or 5 mobs at most.
Yeah, and it's
like-
very
and then
fixed. Like
kinda
there's not a
boring.
lot you can do to change it.
Yeah. Yeah. And most of them are like deadly enough that you probably wouldn't
Definitely.
want to pull anything more.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't rate this
I don't
dungeon
even-
highly. I also don't like it.
I usually rate them in terms of like easiness or how difficult I think the dungeons themselves are, but I don't think like that one doesn't feel that particularly difficult to me, and like the theme, yeah, is what it is. But
I don't mind if
probably
things
say
are
like
difficult.
a C or something. It's just it's fine, but it's nothing great.
It's just not fun. Difficulty is fine, but it has to be fun, and there's just no
Yeah.
fun in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bosses are kind of boring as well.
I think it's honestly really fun to watch the tankies get absolutely shredded by the guy.
The mini boss, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
funnest part of this dungeon is when people get wrecked. Like
PvP.
the tanks get wrecked, the PvP thing, and also
The frontal
people getting
beam.
wrecked by tornadoes.
The frontal beam on Last Bastard. Oh, classic.
Oh, I love it when I love when
I
the
mean,
boss
that-
like
that-
goes one
it's
way
liter-
and then she like immediately spins to the other side.
Dude, we have a monk friend who has been caught by that many a time, bless him, and he is not enjoying it.
I am feeling his pain. It gets hectic there at the very end. She's doing all of the mechanics at the same time. Like, oh, okay, now you're getting sucked. You have to stand close to spawn the ghosts, and she's also spawning the chargers at the same time. She's doing her like Beyblade beam. Like, come on, dude. It's too much.
This is a D for me, but I'm willing to be outvoted.
Yeah,
feel
I
like
mean
this one
COD,
is
I'd
lower
say.
than this is one is lower than Cinderbrew for sure.
I'd throw it in C.
I don't think you
wouldn't
could put it
really
lower than Cinderbrew though.
I would put it lower than Cinderbrew.
It's definitely lower than Cinderbrew.
I guess it kind of depends
At
what
least
we're
the
voting
V-Boss
on.
is fun.
Fun, right?
I would rather do a theater than a Cinderbrew.
I would.
Yeah.
You're crazy.
No, I wouldn't.
I
It's just a
definitely
waste
wouldn't.
of
I would.
time, right? The cinder mead, cinder brew, cinder brew.
In the Mead
Cinnamon
Brewery.
one. You know, you're not wasting your time because you go in first pull. It is what it is. You leave or you continue and finish the key. Theater, you're just logging it out, dude.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah,
true, dude.
honestly,
If you do the theater, you do the first pull, and then you do the ring of peace, and then you power ring of peace the first mob, and then you pull it, and then you run and do the
Let's
first
go,
boss, and then
dude.
your tank dies
Dude.
because they didn't know that it's pulled in. Then you wipe, and then you know straight away.
True,
it
true.
was me, Levi, and fucking our friend. We were doing it, and he hadn't done the paralyzed ring of peace thing until this dungeon. He like he did it, failed, or was it you? Maybe Chai.
I appreciate,
Yeah,
I
it was
appreciate you
Shy.
trying to keep me anonymous and then baiting me out. I appreciate
No, okay, I'm sorry. I don't remember. I don't
No, no,
remember.
yeah, it was
They
me,
were
it was me,
all
yeah, it
monks
was
look
him.
alike to me. I'm
It was
sorry,
him.
I'm monkist. What can I say? And we failed it, and then it was like, oh yeah, okay, tank just insta lives.
Yeah, but the thing is that like that's not even failed because we still could have timed it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, we could've.
absolutely.
That's the
And
thing.
I think
with the
that
dungeon.
when it comes to theater of pain, you don't really like feel that you've failed the timing until you're at like the whirlwind boss,
Yeah.
or what's it, the ghost guy, the lich guy. Dude, I
Yep.
need to start remembering these names.
All right, where are we putting it?
I mean, under D.
I'm happy with C or
under,
D.
I'm going C.
under
Chai?
Cinderbrew, Midori.
I think C. No, I think I would say D, to be honest.
If you're saying C to Theodore Payne, then Cinderbrew is going out to C.
No.
No, D. D to
Wait,
Theodore.
wait.
Payne.
Are
Theodore
you
Payne is
putting it in
D.
C or D, Herex?
I'm putting it beneath Cinderbrew.
Okay, are you happy with that, Chai?
Yeah.
All right, that's 3 of
There's
us.
no way it's
You
below
guys have been
Cinderbrew.
out. You guys have been outvoted.
You can just fail
It's
it on
way
the last
worse.
bot, and that's the most boring thing.
Yeah, just don't fail it.
Yeah.
It's way
Just don't
worse.
fail it, yeah. Dude,
No
I'm
fun
sorry,
polls.
but I am going to walk into those tornadoes once, maybe twice. When
Don't
the
walk
bone
into
guy is
tornado.
going
There's the
crazy,
thing,
I'm
dude.
there.
There's
No fun.
there's the frontal. It has the lines. Like you can't even walk into the
Yeah, but-
tornadoes.
You know what? I'm looking at something else. Okay.
I don't
Look at
care
all of
about
it.
any of that, dude. The whole dungeon is not fun.
Yeah, it's just a slogfest. It actually just feels like there's no
What
big pools.
other-
Everything's moving so slowly. Like,
What other Shadowlands dungeons would you guys rather do?
None.
The other
They all
side?
suck, dude.
I don't really want to go back to Shadowlands ever again. Like, if I'm completely
Because
honest.
I looked at the dungeons and I'm like, I don't
That's
remember any of these.
Honestly,
Or rather, what the hell happened in Spires of Ascension and Tavesh the
nah,
Veil of
dodge that
Dark?
dungeon,
I've
dude.
never done them.
Dodge
I
all of
think.
those dungeons.
Is Tavesh like did that come out later?
isn't it?
It came out like halfway through Shadowlands,
Oh,
and they made it into the Mythic Plus pool. I think like season 3 and 4.
what the hell is Spires of
Maybe.
Ascension?
That's the other
There's
one
the
in
Kyrian
Bastion.
dungeon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be spamming the other side when it comes back for the tank trinket, and then I'll never go in there again.
Oh yeah, I like to. I guess that also like helps me associate like good things with the dungeon, whether they drop like a good item or like that tank trinket was insane.
Yeah, but we need to try and rank them for fun rather than their loot, right? Because otherwise it
Yeah.
completely changes it.
Yeah.
Tank trinket.
Yeah, that was an insane
the box?
scale.
There was
Another scale.
No,
Oh,
a car scale something. I forgot what it's called, but something like that. Basically, like an on-use 2-minute trinket, and it basically gave you like a massive shield.
And that brings us to the Mother Lord.
That was also in Shadowlands where tank damage was insane, so you basically had to run it like a defensive trinket, otherwise you're just getting one shot by stuff.
on the blood spattered scale.
Yeah, that's
That's
the
the
one.
one.
Dude, I actually kind of like the Motherlode. It's grown on me again. As long as you have people that can skip the first parts, like, and don't butt pull, punta.
I'm a big fan of the third
don't
boss being
use it.
changed to what it is now than what it used to be with the debuff management. I hated that boss when it was just like putting debuff or one debuff on the tank, one debuff on someone else, and then that boss used to absolutely slap tanks
I'm
because it was
sorry.
just all magic damage. Third boss, the water
I've-
gun boss, whichever one.
I've
that
never
is.
done this. I never played BFAs. I've never experienced like any of these dungeons in their natural habitat.
They're pretty similar. The only one I don't remember what the rock boss was like, but I think it was pretty boring. I don't even. Did it have ads?
Yeah, it did.
I
think
feel
it-
like
It did,
the
right?
rock
Yeah.
Yeah, it did.
boss mandatory. You need to have 2 ranged guys, and it can't be the healer. It has to be another ranged DPS. Otherwise, you're in hell.
It's a completely different
absolute hell.
fight. If you have 2 ranged, that boss becomes an absolute joke. It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it has to be a DPS.
But
I
have
played
to
it as a DM hunter,
Mm.
and having both of those ads on me the entire time, where I can just move around freely without losing any damage. Oof.
Oh, dude. Like, I can't complain too much as a shaman with like a lot of insta casts and Spirit Walker's Grace. But when those are down, and these guys aren't being slowed at least, I'm just I'm out there like a dog, dude. I'm out there like a dog that's see through, and I'm just like running. It's painful.
Dude, I like the dungeon
But
though.
it-
I'll be honest. I actually like the dungeon. If you can skip that
I think
first
it's
part,
pretty easy.
good. Yeah.
So yeah, I'd put it at S.
Oh,
No
whoa!
way.
What
Oh,
the?
Just 'cause
Oh,
No
Because it's
way.
easy. Like I don't know.
It's not S tier. It's up there with
Whoa.
like BA. There's nothing. There's no way it's
Yeah,
more
B.
than like a B or an A.
B, dude.
I'm
It
going
can't
S.
be above Priory, dude. It's just there is no way.
The theme's just not there compared to Priori.
Honestly, I
theme
like
is
his
there,
theme
though.
more than Mechagon.
Yeah, it
The
is.
theme is there. It's
Yeah, it
literally
is.
like themed for
Well,
Yeah, but
like the
old
Wazoo
theme
for
though.
this. It's goblin themed.
Yeah, old goblins.
It's all goblin themed.
Yeah,
I actually think it is a good dungeon though. But where do you
I'd
guys
say
want to put it?
ARB.
Be behind Priory. That's where I would put it.
Be behind
Okay,
Priory.
I'm
Yeah,
here
for
for it.
sure. The
The
Priory should be nice.
funnest.
Rookers.
Yeah.
Now we're talking. Rookers. Easy
Straight to the
dungeon.
end.
Rookery is S. Let's go S. Oh,
Straight
S tier, S tier.
As long as you vet your team and they can do that second boss,
You-
this dungeon is the freest dungeon we've ever had. I swear to God.
Nah, there's no way
It's kinda
anything beats
crazy.
Shadow Moon Burial Ground.
It
No
is
chance.
Shadow Moon
I
Burial
wish-
Grounds. It's up
It's
to date
not,
Shadow
though.
Moon Burial Grounds.
Not because you can die on it.
Yeah, it's up to date. That's what I'm saying. There are mechanics that like actually do stuff.
Hey,
It's the
I've died
closest one to
multiple
it.
times to the last boss in Shadow and Barrel Grounds when the wave is just like, now we're just not killing the skeletons. I
Oh
guess.
no, dude! Don't take me back.
Multiple times.
If you're dying in
Multiple
Shadow Moon
times.
Burial Grounds, that's a you problem. It's not a dungeon.
Yeah,
And it's
Rookers-
not a me problem, dude. It's
It
it's
is, it
literally a
is.
one-shot mechanic.
It's
Rookers
not
It's
there.
a team effort. He needs to bring the boss over. We need to slap them, and then bam.
You don't need to bring the boss.
But
over,
it's
just
not
kill
very
the
fun,
thing.
right? This dungeon isn't very fun.
No, I think it's fun.
Dude,
Alright.
it's crazy. You get the thing, like you get the balls.
I like
the
it,
balls are
dude.
flying around. There's juice in the beans.
You're just saying it
and you get
because
the
it's
feather.
easy. You just want an
You get
easy
the
weekly
feather?
key.
Then you can fly down with the feather. Like that thing is insane, dude. You
Dude,
pick up the buff.
You
like,
just want an
I
easy
do like
weekly
that.
key.
you're
I do
blasting
like that.
people with the
I like that.
you know, the beam.
There's a skip too.
You got first two big pulls, right?
Oh, true.
Like-
That's true.
Not too big, but like decently big, depending on tank, right?
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
Back to back. So that's pretty good. Then you've got the bird boss, which is actually I actually kind of like it.
Actually, pretty fun. The bird boss. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just the second boss, right? That's
The second boss just
And,
feels a bit awkward.
yeah, it is.
There's just a lot of like downtime for melee. It feels so. It just feels a
Yeah.
bit weird. Like he puts that shit on the ground and he spawns those purple pillars that you have to avoid, and then like
Mm.
then the debuffs have to be out, and then he does the shit around him, and it's just like
Yeah.
there's a lot of
The
downtime.
debuff. I have played that one as DK, and everyone's been saying that you can like just dodge the mechanic with AMZ.
AMS. Yeah, you
AMS,
can.
yeah.
But I've never like experienced it. I've just
Someone gets the debuff, you press AMS, you take the debuff disappears. So you only have to have one stack.
But would that mean that I would have to run out?
No,
No, it's gone. You don't get the debuff. It just
it just
disappears.
disappears off. Yeah, it just doesn't apply to you, and you get rid of the debuff. So you only ever get one charge of
Oh,
the
so I
debuff
need to
from
AMS
some random person.
beforehand and then make sure
Take
that
it.
it.
Well, either way.
Oh,
No,
okay.
you don't need to AMS. Oh yeah, sorry, you AMS before you
You
take
do.
the debuff from someone,
Oh, okay.
not before the boss gives it to the first person. So
Yeah,
you
yeah, of
you're the
course.
second
As long
person.
as I know that it's
Yeah.
going to come to me. Okay.
Yeah,
Then I've been doing it wrong this whole time.
Yeah,
there
okay.
you go.
I mean,
Tell, dude.
do we all
I mean-
think S?
No.
Oh, okay, there we go. I'm
Oh,
open to
damn.
lower. I
Okay,
think
suggestions.
I'm pretty sure Nukon only wants it in S because it's an easy weekly key.
That's not true.
Motherload is infinitely
yes.
easier than Rookery.
Whoa, that
That's
is
not true.
crazy. What are you saying?
No.
right now?
Mudload
way.
takes like a bit longer.
No way.
True.
You can do a rookery in
Yeah.
16 minutes flat,
Dude,
according to
No,
a DH I did it
you
with
know
the
what
other
the
day.
problem with Rooker is? Everyone is just blasting me over my BL timers, and they're like, you know, why the hell did you BL now? You should do it on the second boss. Yeah, okay, have
They're
fun
right.
doing the yeah, okay, have fun doing the last boss without BL.
They're
I'm
right.
just saying.
They're right.
I feel like this
they're
comes
wrong.
down to
They're
you
wrong.
always complaining about not knowing stuff, and that's just because you don't know the stuff.
What do you mean? I know. That's why I'm BLing at that time.
Just
And
know
I'm
the
not
BL
going
time.
to expose the
that's
time
it.
because I don't want people to tell me I'm wrong.
Honestly, you don't have to BL second boss, but like, if you're pugging, dude, just fucking BL it because I don't trust people.
I don't think you can BL that and the last boss, can you? Maybe.
No,
I don't think you can. No.
No way. The end of the
there's
second boss.
no
I'm
way
almost
unless
over,
you're
right?
unless you're fucking up all the polls, like on the way there, you're not BLing like both second and third.
Yeah.
I mean, you
that's
just
fair.
BL one of the first pulls, right? And then the big pulls, and then you BL the second boss.
Second boss is definitely more dangerous than the last one. The last one's a bit annoying, but
It's slow,
not really
right?
The
It's
last
not
one you have to amp
dangerous.
anyway.
It's just a
so-
slog.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like of course I haven't done it at like a very high key. 10 is my max on that, or 11 maybe.
But we're judging it on tens, right?
We're judging it on just tens, yeah.
Yeah. So Oh, if we are judging it on 10, then screw all y'all. My BL timings are right. Higher keys, dude, that's not my area. I'm not there yet. Okay, the blasters Bond can take over that time. Okay, but I'm just saying my BL timings are right.
What's the argument for this not being S then?
I
I
don't
don't know. They
enjoy
haven't
it.
given their
Rookery.
opinion yet.
Wait, or
What do you not enjoy about it?
Everything.
make
Right.
it on.
You mind listing a couple?
No.
Can you
Rookery.
expand?
No.
Is it you don't like dwarfs?
No.
It's like,
Wait,
The
is it
thing
because
he
you're a
is
nerd
one.
then?
to quote,
Just
it's
I
not
don't
that
like
he
it.
doesn't like it. It's just there's no positives to it.
Okay.
Dude, the
That's a very
positive is that you
positive
can do
way.
it in 60 minutes flat and you can get it done very quickly.
You've had a bad experience on your priest doing this, haven't you? Is this why?
Dude,
I mean, I
all
have.
of the
But
reasons why he's seeing something negative is because he's been blasted on the priest, and he's
Yep.
just not having a good time on the priest.
I agree. He got knocked
And
off
then
the fucking thing on the last boss and then he wiped because of it.
I mean, I could give my reason for it. I just don't think it's that fun. I think all of the bosses are kind of boring.
Yeah.
What, Rookery?
Floodgates above it. For
Yeah,
sure.
Floodgate. I would put Floodgate above it. All of the bosses in this dungeon are boring. Rookery is
Yeah.
like
Yeah, you're
just
right.
start a step
But
to
you
the
can't
side.
do Rookery and you can't
You're
do
right. Bring it
Floodgate
down.
in 60 minutes.
Bring
What?
it
Bring it
down.
down.
Bring it down.
Bring it down behind Floodgate for sure.
There you
Ain't
go.
No
way.
way.
Nah,
If
I
you
put
want
it
S,
below.
Floodgate's S.
I put it below everything in B tier.
Oh, that's
No
crazy.
way.
That's crazy.
No way. No way. S tier.
Rookery.
I don't think we got people arguing for S tier. I don't think we could put it in B.
Yeah, Newcom's saying S tier for
Okay,
saving
okay.
time. But
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
S tier for Shadow
we-
Moon
can we-
Burial Ground tier.
Okay, it's
there.
gotta
Well,
be. It's
I
gotta be.
No
said
way,
Motherload in
no
S
way.
tier, and you put it in
Can
B.
we
So
can we decide on Mechagon first before we change the ranking?
All right. Mechagon. I actually don't mind
A.
Mechagon. Yeah, I don't think it's that bad.
A
I
tier.
think
I hate it. C tier.
I like it. A tier.
I love it, dude.
holy.
Oh my god.
C.
Okay, it sounded like a solid B in that case. Do that with
Okay, wait.
Herax.
Let's start this again.
I-
Why do you hate it?
Look,
Come on, Herax.
Yeah.
Be the decider.
I don't know. I like the I said earlier, like 10 minutes ago, that Motherload I like the vibe more, but honestly, I like the Mechagon vibe more. The first boss is like Robo, what's it called? Robo Wars.
Yep.
I'm just having a good time getting flipped like burger flipped. But the pull like ahead of that, the first pull, it's fucking stressful, dude. It's crazy. It's crazy.
That pull used to be really easy, dude. Did you do it back in the day?
No, I did not play BFA.
The first pull, no one ever did it. It was just a tank ran in and then pulled all the mobs over to a hammer, and then it died. And then the rest of the group
Actually,
came in. Yeah.
But you can't do.
Then they changed it to
Well-
what it is now, which is the same, roughly the same size. I think they've probably added a few more mobs in, but they've added I think they've added more like detonate mobs, so you can't really
Maybe,
just
yeah.
well. In high keys, they obviously pull like the whole room, but
You need to pull the whole room.
yeah,
And it's
you
more
need
fun to pull the whole room as long as
as long as you have stops for it. It feels really fun to pull
Yeah.
the whole room, but yeah, it's kind of like a challenge.
the detonate. I mean, I'm exposing myself. I'm a base Blizzard UI. I ain't got that plater luxury stuff that y'all have, and it's impossible to see them when there's 1,500 mobs that all have their health bars in front of you. You ain't seeing shit even when they're stacking, because then you have to like move your character or like your camera up into the sky. You can't see yourself. You can't see the circles on the ground then, just to silence a little detonate guy. Nah.
I don't know what the default UI looks like now in terms of like health bars, like nameplates. Because I feel
mean-
like when they changed them, they used to be okay back in the day when you could see all the casts, but I feel like they've changed them. Was it Legion or Shadowland BFA or something? They changed them to like thinner ones that looked really, really bad.
You can make them
I don't remember
thicker.
when that was. Oh, can you?
You can make.
Okay.
I'm playing on it. I can take a screenshot for you.
Yeah.
But it just maybe I'm just blind. Like I don't know. Maybe it's probably a me thing over trying.
It
to
might be
learn.
like a familiarity thing as well. Like if you know a
I am
fight or you
used to
don't know a
Plater.
fight and you're used to something else, like you can feel. I definitely know when if I was to stop using like a weaker or something else, I would definitely feel like not naked without something, but basically naked. I'd feel naked
I-
without something.
I mean, I feel a little bit blind. Is
Yeah.
the problem?
I
Like they
think
are
it's
showing me things. It's just they're not showing me clear. They're
way you're
not
used
showing
to
it
seeing
clearly
it.
enough.
Yeah, all that.
But yeah, I like the Mechagon vibe. I like the dog boss. I like the.
How do you feel about the dog boss change?
Good.
I don't know what the change is.
So the way they used to be able to do the dog boss was you could bring the tank could bring the dog boss like on top of the box, and while it was casting the vents or whatever it is, like
yeah.
the intermission phase, you could still DPS it. They've now changed that within the last week or so to make it so that you can no longer DPS from behind the box and like not get killed, basically.
Yeah, like the people were using the weak orb. It was kind of buggy. I heard that it was kind of buggy.
What,
I didn't really have a problem with it.
Since the change, you mean, or previously?
No, before that.
Previously, it
But
was not buggy.
I didn't.
You have the buff. You stand behind the box. If you have the buff behind the box, you don't die.
It's one of those things where it's just a weak aura diff.
It's only what I've heard. I've never used it.
If you don't have the weak aura, you was probably just gonna get clapped. If you did have the weak aura, you just had a giant icon telling you keep casting. Like,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's absolutely things like that are part of the reason I just hate weak auras overall.
I mean, it's not really. It's just a weak aura telling you that you have a buff, right? You can still just look at the buff to see if you have it or not.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's just like
like it's an actual buff. Or
yeah,
what?
it's just a stealth. It's a stealth icon. That's
The
what it
mechanic itself
What it looked
was an exploit, right?
Yeah.
It was just drawing attention to an exploit essentially, which is why it's been fixed.
Mm.
You shouldn't be able to cast if you're line of sight. That's the way line of sight works.
Yeah. I mean, I never used.
You
the
weren't
weak aura
line of
ad,
sight
and
where
I was just standing.
You were supposed to be, which is why you got the debuff, the
You
buff.
were supposed to be line of sight, but you weren't actually line of sight. The box is like line of sight.
It was smaller than the
I guess
box
you could
itself.
call it. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
you were out in the open, but still getting use of the line of sight buff is essentially how it was working, right?
Yeah.
So I agree with you. It probably shouldn't have been a thing, but to have it be around for like 2.5 expansions worth of time to then nerf it just feels a bit weird to me.
Yeah, I agree. They should have nerfed it back then, but I'd rather them nerf it now than not.
It because, in my opinion, that argument will also be like, well, why haven't they made Eversong Forest flyable? Okay, it's the same reason. They're not gonna do it until they have to, which is what happened. And I heard that they're, oh well, whatever. That's besides the point. I like the vibe. I like the vibe of this dungeon. I'm not an enjoyer of the last boss. The last boss is
the last boss used to be way worse than what it is now. The version we have now is way better. Yeah, that intermission phase where he like sucks you in used to like do a shitload of ticking damage, and then if you touch the magnet, you die. Now it's basically just like there's a little bit of ticking damage, and if you touch the magnet, you die. He also used to put out, the damage. Well, if you're near the magnet, that little pole, whatever it is that's sucking you in, I think it's the magnet, isn't it? You can just get one shot. I don't know if you touch it, you get one shot, but the nearer you are, you basically take more damage. So just don't stand near it.
Yeah, easy to say when you're not a priest.
I think overall it's a decent dungeon.
No, it's not as bad as what it used to be. Like, that's not even like an ability thing.
I can accept that. I mean, I feel like in my head this is an A-tier dungeon.
I feel like it used to be easier than what it is now, and so probably like a B. I would be fine with a B.
You okay with a B? Chai?
I would say I think it's because I haven't played it previously, so I like it in A, and I think I like it in A behind the Rookery. Oh no, but then if Priory's in B.
Yeah, I can't. In my head, Priory should move up.
Yeah, I think Priory should be like should be up there. Or Operation Mechagon should be down there in B tier.
Honestly,
I think it should be between Motherload and Dark Flame.
Really? You think there?
I think it's better than Motherload.
Yeah.
It's better than
Okay,
Motherload.
then up one. Yeah, there.
Yeah, that's fine. Or maybe even higher. Like, but to be fair, the bosses. Okay, apart from The third boss, I think, is the one that I don't like. I think first boss is really fun. That boss
garden
room, the
gnome.
trash is really good. The second boss is really, really fun. Like, I really like that second boss. And healing
What, the
is
dog?
a lot of fun as well. Yeah, the dog.
Yeah, they've changed that as well. It used to be different. They've made a lot more like it more of like a healing check boss.
Yeah, it's
It
really
was a
fun
healing
though.
check boss before, but it used to like dispel the tank, and I don't remember it doing AoE damage when you dispelled the debuff.
Like
Right.
that fight was, was really challenging, but it got much easier once you like learn the patterns.
Yeah.
Do we think that that's okay where they are? Anyone want to
I
make
think
adjustments?
I
No.
do.
Okay. Yeah. What?
Falgate S tier.
Yeah, I
No
agree.
way.
No, I
We're in the
disagree.
minority on this one, Chai, but
I
I
don't think
agree.
any of the dungeons are S tier worthy, to be honest. Like actually,
Really?
yeah.
Were you not happy about Herex?
Priories, more poggers, my doggers.
More poggers. But the
Yeah.
bosses are dog. Like, the bosses are solid D tier.
Look, just because he's riding on a dog doesn't mean maybe you haven't fight the right guy enough. Maybe if we're finding the right guy, this will
I
be
need
more
to
fun.
make it worse for
Moving
myself.
forwards, we're taking our routes
No,
right.
whoa! I didn't say worse. Okay, maybe it's more fun now. Who knows?
Yeah, it's
Like,
not.
the question
I don't think anyone knows. That's the problem.
are the bosses in Prairie that bad that it makes it
I think
worse
so.
than the Prairie?
I think so.
I think the theming is really cool in Priory, but again, like the dungeon itself, other than like the first pull, just isn't that fun.
I honestly think second boss should probably have been the last boss, and we needed 2 different bosses that were on theme and interesting.
Yeah. The last
Yeah.
boss also feels kind of boring, right? It's just like
Trash fight.
those down to the beam, face away, and then the random like
It doesn't do enough,
Yeah.
right?
It's a
The
trash
last one.
fight you
Yeah.
turn away from.
yeah. Yeah, I'm happy with that list. I don't think any of the dungeons are like good enough to warrant
Is
it.
Dark Flame in the right position though? Because I'm actually thinking Dark Flame should be higher.
I think that we enjoy Dark Flame for the same reason we enjoy Rookery, and I don't think we should
It's
be moving
easy.
stuff up because it's easy.
No, but all the
Yeah.
bosses in Dark Flame are actually good.
I mean, you're actually doing
Actually
something
good.
kind
Actually
of
good
different.
interactions. Like,
Well, you like the last boss. I don't like the last boss.
I mean, it's
I
different.
don't like the
and
candle boss.
Yeah, but something being different doesn't make it good, right? Like,
No, I mean the last boss. Okay, the last boss is not that great, but the rest of the bosses in that dungeon are really good.
I don't like the
My-
last two. Let's put it that
My
way.
top boss, last two,
What was
the
it?
candle
oh, I
boss.
disagree. I like the Candle King.
The candle boss is actually so good, dude. I think that's one of the best fights in.
No, sorry, the Wick one. I mean, not the one where you like with the tornadoes and with the flame where you light the candles. I don't mean that one. I mean the one where you put out the statues, like those
Yeah,
ones,
that's
like
the one. Yeah,
I
with
like
the
that
sand
boss.
patches on the floor. That's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, I like
About
that.
I
spells.
think. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think those two middle bosses are actually the best bosses in that dungeon.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I quite like the candle boss. Feels pretty good.
Yeah, that is the most fun.
The first
for
boss
sure.
just feels like a non-boss, basically. Just doesn't really feel like
Yeah.
a boss. It's just
I
like
think that's
trash.
been changed though, right? As well, because you was killing the ads with the carts. And I don't think you can do that now, can you?
No, you have to damage them.
It's the regular trash. You
Oh.
can still kill the ads on the
okay.
fight itself.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I think that's
There we go.
for the most part. Yeah, maybe we'd shuffle Dark Flame Clef around depending on who makes the list, but I think overall it's in the right spot.
Yep.
That's
Yep,
kind of sad when
okay.
you think about it. We didn't get a single like top tier dungeon this time around.
Yeah, I don't think any of them are particularly good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just not a big fan of bringing back dungeons in general either. I feel like that's such a cop out. The amount of like money you pay this company and they don't provide you like 8 new dungeons each season, like yeah, I think it's proper cop out.
I wouldn't mind
I think
bringing
the
back.
dungeons have to make thematic sense though, and that's too many.
I don't think Fear of
I
Pain
think,
makes
I
any
think we're
sense.
past the point now of like caring about lore and all that sort of stuff. So
I would
yeah,
actually
doesn't
like
make
them
sense.
to bring back old dungeons, starting from vanilla, and actually rebuild the dungeons. Like you can
Like
reuse
Priory
that.
doesn't make thematic sense either, right? And neither does like Rookery or I don't know, theater.
Wait, what do you mean?
Like they
It
can.
don't make sense?
They're literally part of the story.
Yeah, I don't know. No.
Isn't Priory where you have
They're
to
not like
go for
goblin
the
fights, right?
dark art? It's
Yeah.
not all about Goblin though, right? It's about the heart.
Yeah. Floodgates is the only one that's like current current story so far theme appropriate. Well,
Yeah.
you got the Mechagon.
That's why we need to
Those
elevate
are
it.
like
Mechagon doesn't make sense to me either, but
no,
maybe
sorry, I meant Madalone.
yeah.
The Mechagon one, I guess, is just like, well, we got Madalone. Let's just bring out the goblins with
Yeah.
less pointy.
They're like, this one's
Proof.
got operation in the name, so you gotta bring
Yeah,
back this one with
exactly.
operation in the name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so I think I guess we're good with that.
Yeah, we're
Move
done with the
on
tier list
to
now.
like the meta and stuff, I guess. What people
Yep.
think about the meta.
Is there a meta? Does anyone
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, so there's Fire it was Fire Mage, Unholy DK, Boomkin, Vengeance, and then I guess they were either running like
Disc Priest.
Disc Priest or I think Druid is part of the meta.
Hmm.
Could be wrong
Don't know
about the
about
Druid.
Druid.
I
I'm
think
pretty sure they were running Disc.
They're definitely running Disc. I don't
Disc is
remember
like the
the
overwhelming
last year.
majority.
Yeah. This is just so insane, like what it brings, right? It's just there's no healer that can compete with a Disc Priest.
But to me, it kind of brings
Uh,
back the whole like uncapped AOE stuff as well with the
Mm.
Disc Priest, right? Because it means that you can PI whoever is doing the most like cleave. So
Yeah.
Fire Mage, I think, is uncapped. Like Blood DK, Unholy DK is uncapped, and then Boomkin is like uncapped.
Mm.
And to me, that just feels really shit that there's certain classes just aren't in the meta because of uncapped AOE.
Yeah.
And I feel like that just can't really be a thing that certain classes are only in it because of, you know, being able to hit everything while other classes just can't.
Especially if they're
I
making those
agree.
big pulls, right? They're making it possible to do those big pulls in the beginning of dungeons.
Yeah, well, that's exactly why, right? Because your goal is obviously to pull as many things as possible, and if like 3 classes can hit everything, but not everything can, then you're gonna take the ones that can hit everything and still do like decent single target damage, right?
I don't think it would
Oh.
be as bad if the classes that were uncapped were significantly worse when it comes to like 8 targets and things like that, but that's just not the case. Like they still do great even in 8.
Yeah, they're still decent, but then again, that's because the targets that the mobs that are hitting 8, other person is only able to hit 5, for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
So then they're still hitting like 3 more targets, and then again, it adds to like unevenness with your DPS, right? You want everything to kind of die roughly at the same time,
And that's
or kill enough of it that you can then keep chain pulling on to your current pull.
which then reinforces like the meta comps, right? Because if you can
Yeah.
take three classes that are uncapped, you wouldn't want to bring 2 that are uncapped and then 1 that isn't, like, or even
Yeah.
like 2 that are capped and 1 that is uncapped, because there are odds at what they want. One wants you to pull like insane amounts, and the others want you to pull a select amount.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's starting to get a bit boring as well when you see the same classes constantly being in that. Like, when has Mage not been? When has this Priest not been? When has Vengeance
Mage has
Destructor
been
not
for a long time now. Mage has been, I think, meta more or less since Dragonflight, like season 1 or 2, I think. So like, I actually that's maybe not true.
Feels
What they
longer than
weren't
that,
last
right?
season, were they? They weren't meta last season, I don't think, or were they?
Last season it was weird, right? Because enhancement shamans were
Okay.
just insane.
Wasn't it
SDK was
Arcane
also pretty good.
last season?
Was Arcane OP last season? I don't remember now. I'm gonna have a quick look.
In
See.
M plus, I think it was like a melee cleave, wasn't it?
Frost DK.
It
Oh
was
no,
like
I take it back.
rogue.
Mages were there, or because there's
Were
Org.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
Mage has been part of every
Yeah.
comp since Org was introduced.
Org, Shaman, Frost, Org Enhancement, Frost.
With last season, Aug was playable.
Yeah.
Wow.
They did 20s in time, 20 Arakaras. And there was Paladin Tank and Disc Priest was the season last meta. The season before that, Dragonflight season 4 was Mage, Org, Druid, Shadow Priest. Wait, they didn't even run a healer.
Oh right.
Oh, they did. Sorry, they had like. Oh wait, no, they didn't. Sometimes they didn't run a healer. They just had Org, Shadow Priest, Boomkin, and then a Vengeance Demon Hunter.
Yeah, a bunch of a bunch of
Season
classes that could like heal themselves while
3
they were
was the
DPSing.
same. Season
I remember that.
2. So mages have been like literally meta since like Dragonflight. What season? Let's see. Dragonflight season 1 hadn't. Mages are kind of meta.
I feel
Fire
like I
mage has been
remember.
the top.
The only way I can remember what was meta is if Minder, a former guildmate, wanted to play something.
Mages
And
were
I
meta
remember
in
him.
Shadowlands season 4.
Did he switch to mage?
So mages
I
have
don't
been meta
remember.
since like Shadowlands. So they've literally been meta every single tier,
Yeah, it's insane.
which is
Absolutely
kind of
He was
crazy.
playing Mage in season 2 of Dragonflight.
Oh yeah, okay.
Mages, yeah, season
Oh
1
yeah,
Shadowlands.
right. I remember.
But luckily here in North Meta, you can play whatever you want. That's why I'm a Mistweaver. But
So even season, let's see, season 4 BFA, was it mages? Yeah, mages. So literally mages have been meta every single tier, basically.
That's what I said.
Pretty crazy,
They're
actually.
the main
looking at it.
characters.
They are the main character. I mean, they even have like the the name of the company as well. Like, come on, dude.
Oh no, I take it back. BFA season 2, mages weren't meta because they were running 2 outlaw rogues.
Was that when Outlaw Rogue got changed?
Yeah, it was when
BFA?
it was like broken as hell
Dude, I
because their
remember
single
watching that
target was
trailer, and
basically
good
like
lord,
hitting
it
everything.
looked like the coolest shit ever.
So Finland,
Like
BFA.
they have buffs now.
do you think the meta has had that much of an impact on like the keys that you guys have been doing? Like if you have been bugging?
I mean,
'Cause I feel like it's
honestly,
been-
like when I've been trying to pug, it's just been like, well, why do you want me when you could just take someone that's part of the meta squad?
Mm.
Because the way
I
that
feel like
I've
I
like
was
yeah.
always, yeah, well,
I think
I
it
don't know.
definitely
Maybe it's just a
influences
DPS thing.
people.
It doesn't matter whether or not it's needed. Like, it's definitely not needed. For the keys we do, like 10s, 11s, 12s, it doesn't matter what you play. You can play whatever the hell you want. But the
Yeah, for
reality
sure.
is, that's not the way everyone looks at it, right? Like, you're
Mm.
not going to take. If you're two equally geared and equally scored people, you're just going to take one that's a meta over one that's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think this season I felt like it's been kind of different though, from my personal experience, obviously. And I've actually been noticing like, even if I put my own key up, I'll take Rep Palace because I feel like the Rep
You're
Palace
saying
have
that like that's
actually
not
do
meta
good
though,
stuff
right?
in. No, but they're not meta though.
Dude,
No, I'm pretty
everyone was
sure
picking.
Rep Palas were the highest represented DPS, melee DPS spec in 15s and above.
Yeah, but that's probably just because there's like everyone's playing Rep, right? Because so many people play it.
I don't
No,
know.
everyone. I remember distinctly at the start of this season, everyone was playing Windwalker Monk. I mean, that's how it Monk works, okay? Windwalker Monks and Paladins. Like there was only them everywhere. And now the shift has happened again, where like all the you finally got the gear, you got the haste. Now the casters come out to play, and you get the random like haste heavy melee guy that's just like, I have an OP talent. I'm looking at you, DK.
I haven't seen that many unholy DKs. Maybe they're just in on the top.
That's
in
because they're all the way up there,
high keys. Yeah.
and I'm
I
not
think that
playing
is
on
a
high.
thing. They're much better in high keys, right?
Yeah,
Because stuff lasts a little bit longer for them to do their ramp.
it's not even ramped. It's just hoping that you spawn your blood beast, and then it's GG.
Yeah, I guess that's true as well.
I tried to stay
Like
away from
this,
Paladin tanks though.
it's actually crazy how that whole spec feels like. I mean, it's just a feeling, right? I don't know about the actual stats, but I feel like it's just a blood beast.
I think it is as well. That's kind of what my issue with hero talents in general is that it feels like a lot of classes have like a random spell that just procs off something else that makes them do like a lot of damage, and to me that just feels weird. Like even paladins themselves, like rep paladin. So
I feel like it would be fine though if it just wasn't a blood beast. Like if you had like if you were blasting with the heart strikes, like fine, dude. That's like
I
part of
agree.
your hero talent. But
Yeah, I
now
agree.
it's like the one small node, like node that you that you play, and it's just going absolutely crazy and uncapped.
This
Yeah.
is a graph from Lo-Fi Banshee on Twitter, Jordan. I don't know if you know, but they make graphs and pretending that you're doing the Lord's work by taking some rep paladins when that's their representation in 10 to 14s, brother. Come on now.
Oh, it's because there's so many of them.
Come
I want
on
to see.
now.
I want to see. I want to see. This is not representative because it's not showing the
Come on now.
population size. To be fair, BM is highly underrepresented here because you know there's so many BM hunters doing keys, but they're
Dude,
stuck in like.
You need
What
to-
is
You need to start
Yeah, but
taking
they're
the
they're
affliction
stuck in
locks.
queue.
Start taking the affliction locks, the outlaw rogues.
Dude,
Where
I
is
take the
this from?
survival.
Like different tiers though, because this is probably just like this tier, right? I would be
Here's this
interested to
tier.
see like other tiers,
It is this tier, yeah. I mean, I would have to dig through it and find them all, but yeah.
because I feel like before Ret got changed to in Dragonlance, or Dragonflight, should I say? Before Ret got changed, I feel like it was much less popular because it was squishy, didn't do that much damage. It was still, I think now it's obviously like kind of unkillable unless you're bad. You have insane defensives now compared to what you used to do, and it's like a pretty easy spec to play overall.
The off
You
healing as
could,
well, and the things you can
there's,
like help your team out. Yeah.
yeah, there's a good bit of utility and like off healing, which just absolutely helps. Things like bops, sack, like freedoms on certain classes, like freedoms on
Yeah,
priests
freedom
when
is
they
so
get
good.
slowed on
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, you can like pre-freedom stuff, and there's just a lot of utility. You can definitely tell like the difference between like a bad ret and a good ret, right?
The Holy Gang helps each other out.
Yeah. But it does kind of feel like since they became, I feel like basically since they got modernized, they have been a lot more popular than what they used to be.
Maybe that's something they should add, like the ability to like jump on your steed and pick up an ally and carry them to safety.
I'd be here for it, but
taking away Dragon's only redeeming factor. I don't know, dude.
That's not true. Dragons do a lot of damage. What do you mean?
Yeah, totally.
Right. I guess
I
moving on.
agree.
What do you guys think about like the seasonal affix or the affixes that we currently have?
I have no problem.
Zalatath one.
I just put down my totem. I let it do God's work, and then I'm good. I don't like the big one that you have to kill, but that's only because I have to focus on killing it, and it's actually like not that big of a deal. I guess it's annoying that when you don't kill it, the mobs get the max juice immediately.
Yeah.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's fine. Like,
what do you think about other
just be killing
affixes
it.
back in the day? I don't know how much you actually played like other stuff, but
I played. I mean, it's only. I don't know anything about pre-Dragonflight affixes. If there were
okay.
affixes pre-Dragonflight.
What did we have in Dragonflight? We had bolstering and stuff, right? In Dragonflight,
We had
isn't it this
Thunderous. You know, the when you had to touch each
bolstering,
other.
bursting? What else did we get?
I liked Thundering.
Sanguine.
The one where you had to touch each other.
Yeah, I thought that one was pretty good.
Yeah. I've honestly liked
pretty
all
sure
seasonal
we've
affixes.
all complained about it. Back
Thundering was good.
No, the only time I would complain is if you were playing with people who would like actively run away from you or just not make any effort to move when they can.
Yeah, I've definitely heard you complain about it.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, you're gonna, right? Like, if you're like mid-cast or something and someone's like a hunter or whatever and they're just like actively not even making an effort to close the gap
I mean,
between
honestly, yeah. I mean, that's a rate difference, okay?
you. Yeah, we did have, to be fair, that was also one of the reasons I enjoyed it. We had a friend at the time who was adamant that he didn't need the weak aura for it, and then when I asked him to stream, he was just permanently stunned anytime the buff appeared on him.
Yeah.
I do think they're fun and they bring like a difference between each tier. Like I feel like at this point, just swapping the dungeons around feels pretty boring to me. Like all the like your dungeon will always feel the same. Like to me, the dungeon pools always feel the same. There's always going to be like a favorite one, a good dungeon, a bad dungeon. And I feel like every season to mix things up, they should absolutely be bringing a seasonal affix. I know they've kind of brought 4, but they're kind of like super basic ones, right? It's just like soak one thing, kill one thing, dispel one thing, like, but they all kind of do the same thing, right?
Did they discuss it? Why they removed? Because I personally would have preferred a seasonal affix each time and not this like expansion wide affix or the rotating affixes. Like one seasonal affix, I think is fine.
Yeah, I agree. I think one season affix would absolutely be fine. As long as it's like kind of kiss curse. I feel like it's really fun having like a kiss curse thing because it just
Yes.
makes it more interactive. And again, it just like refreshes the dungeon. I think it was kind of time to get rid of like bolstering, bursting, and all that sort of stuff, and yeah, refreshing it. But just getting rid of them completely just feels a bit weird to me.
It's been time to get rid of that stuff, to be fair. That was horrendous.
It's because people were complaining about all those affixes, and I think they said basically that like they were moving away from the affixes, making the dungeons challenging and making it more about the dungeons itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
like. I honestly am I'm not the biggest fan of the Dragonflight affixes just because they were so like they took over the dungeon and it wasn't as fun as it could. I don't remember all of them, but like because the only one I can think of is like the touching.
There
one.
was thundering, and then there
Yeah,
was the
I mean,
one.
the name so isn't gonna say me anything, unfortunately.
Yeah, thundering is
You-
the one with the dragon. Let me just look them up. I forgot what they all were, but there was the ones with the buffs, right?
Was the one where you had to like stop to like you had to stop casting?
Quaking, I think was it.
No, that wasn't a
Quake.
seasonal affix.
But yeah, I enjoyed the seasonals, and
That was
it refreshes enough. Like each season is it long enough to get used to something, enjoy it, and then be fine for it to go away, right? Like we're gonna
Yeah,
have another tier of these same rotating affixes, which is just boring.
yeah, I agree.
I agree with that, but I
Can they
didn't like the
absolutely do adding
Dragonfly
more?
ones.
The
For me,
Dragonflight
it's as
ones was
great as it
though
is.
that was when there was explosive, quaking, grievous. Like those ones were all still in there previously, right? So you still had
Yes,
those in Dragonflights, which is why they've now removed them.
I think that also tainted people's enjoyments of the seasonal affixes. Like if the season was
Yeah.
bad, you can't really narrow it down to it being bad because of the seasonal affix. Except for the Gahoonies, the little Gahoonies that came out. That one, I didn't like that one. That one
Well, I
sucked.
think they got rid of
The
seasonal affixes
Gahoonies.
after the first one, didn't they?
I'm not sure. Yeah,
in
in the
Dragonflight they removed it like after a few weeks.
Herax was confused in season 1 of BFA. One of the monsters would be like infested by a mini version of the first tier's raid boss,
Oh god.
and you would get them low enough, and it would like go into another mob, and if it got to another mob, I think it full healed them.
It
Oh my
put a
God.
buff on them that if they were near another one, full healed. It didn't full heal the mob. If it was near them,
So it was
it
basically
would
like
make them heal off
prolonging, and you
one.
had to like move and add outside the group or
You basically
something
had
like
to
that.
beat an ad
Yeah.
that was like infested. It would spit out the infestation, and then you had to kill the infestation before it reached another mob, or it would just infect another one.
Oh,
Yeah, so
yeah, that
killing the
sounds
infested
annoying.
one would spawn 2 like worms. If those worms weren't killed or CC'd before they were killed, they would cast a thing that would put them like not kickable, like you'd have to stun them or whatever. They
Mm.
would basically infest 2 mobs, and those 2 mobs would heal. I don't remember if it was other infested mobs or if it was everything around them, but I feel like I want to say it was everything around them. But basically, they just made them like heal each other nonstop. So you had to focus those mobs and then kill the rest of the group. I think that's how it worked.
Yeah, that was the only
Inflicted
one. I remember that one not being fun. But other than that, I think I've been pretty much okay with all of them.
Yeah, every 3 seconds they heal for 10% of their maximum health. Oh, this causes any other mob within 8 yards to have that buff. So it heals them all. It causes them all to heal for 10% of their max health every 3 seconds. And then once you kill that infested, it then spawns another worm, which then can go into another mob. They didn't have too much health, but like if you didn't have a person with like
Oh,
an AOE
yeah.
stun, you were kind of fucked, or you had to
Yeah.
like kite them away, right?
Yeah.
To me, it's
So
by
you-
far the worst affix like ever to have existed. I hated it so much.
Bursting, that one, good lord.
Bursting, I didn't mind too much, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you're target cap, because you're not gonna have that problem. Like mega pulling on bursting weeks, yeah, have fun, dude.
Bursting was pretty fine, to be honest, because as long as you had a controlled group, you could stop it at certain stacks and then like wait it out or master spell if you had priests and stuff, or like just personal it. Like bursting was pretty fine to work around, or if you're like a good healer, you'd had healing cooldowns and stuff. So I didn't mind bursting.
Yeah. You weren't playing in normal raiding guild on Argent Dawn. We're not the same.
Yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I liked a lot of the dungeons in Dragonflight, and I didn't like the affixes. So I was happy with them removing the affixes. But I don't know. I'm not sure. Since I've only really played this season, like properly, I only played at the end of last season. I feel like um, I don't really mind these affixes right now. But I guess I can understand you guys being like, I'm so bored of this.
I guess my opinion on it is just I feel like we should have. I feel like we're being sold content that is like a refresh every 6 months, essentially. So I want to feel like I'm getting my full amount of content every 6 months, is kind of the way I look at it. We're being charged like a subscription. We're being charged a new expansion every, year and a half, probably now is how it's going to be. Then they're also charging microtransactions. And we don't really get that much each tier. This tier, I think, has been slightly different because they've given you the Undermine. But I still feel like there isn't that much content to actually do in the Undermine outside of like just dailies.
Yes. It's
So
basically like 2 new delves, a new world boss, a new
Yeah.
sound to, and like they were really excited about the release of Drive.
I feel
But
that's
like
kind of
you
fallen flat.
you can only use it in the Undermine, which is,
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine, but it's not really like, I don't know. I mean, I think that honestly, what I think that they're doing, I mean, it's the same. Technically, it's the same as Dragonflight, right? You could only Dragonfly on the Dragon Isles, so it's just a very like
True.
more a smaller version of this. So I think that maybe
Yeah.
they are working towards maybe making ground mounts drivable.
I'd be very
That would
surprised
look,
if they made it
yeah.
anywhere
I
other
mean,
than the Undermine. But I think they should. And I think they should like expand upon it and like give races and stuff and put like racetracks
yeah.
around the world. I think that
I'm
actually would be cool.
sure. I'm sure that they could make the animations not look wonky on like
Yeah.
non-car looking mounts. What's this introduction of a new reward at 3K? Has Blizzard said anything, or is that just something we want to talk about?
That's a new mount that's being put in place as of this season. So there is a new, there's a new achievement for hitting 3K, which I believe is roughly like half 13s, half 12s. And yeah, you basically get a mount for it. It's a pretty cool mount, actually.
Yeah,
What's
it's
the
the
name of it?
same
I
as
wanna-
the KSM mount, but without the red paint.
Yeah.
Someone remember the name?
I'll have a look for you right now.
No.
Again,
Alright.
like this just feels like I'm glad that they encourage people to progress further, but can we have more than just a reskin maybe? Like, can we have
Yeah,
some challenge mode
dude.
weapons again or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to be like, I don't want us to talk always negatively about things, but if there's one thing I dislike that like all of these gaming companies do, League of Legends being the absolute worst like of all time with this, is selling us recolored skins, like
Yep.
or recolors anything. I don't mind recolors existing per se, but good lord, dude, why is it that it the only like at the very top end. Like we're blasting the 3K, dude. We're like juicers, and then we get a recolored mount. Like, are you shitting me? Shouldn't we get like some ultimate doomsday destruction robot of ultimate doom? Like instead of just like what's it called? Like the merc. Like I don't remember the name of that group, the goblin group. Like why is he just recolored? Why?
Yeah, I don't like
It's
recolored
not
stuff.
fun. It's not exciting. It doesn't actually. It's a good looking mount. Yes. Should it exist as a 3K mount? Maybe. But why is it like I don't understand.
I don't see why we can't
Um,
have a mount for KSM, weapons for KSH, and an an armor appearance for the new 3K.
yeah, I agree. Armor or like weapons, something like that. Yeah.
I mean, you can jiggle
Um,
around like whatever order you think
which
they
one's
should come
which?
in, but
Yeah.
there's no reason why they couldn't. And I also think it gives people encouragement to do Mythic Plus. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
Genuinely. Even like the RPers would be having to do M plus. And it would bring more people into M plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Like just bringing it would like in a sense, right? By giving people something to look forward to doing or like want to do, it would subsequently I'm probably butchering that word. Subsequently, it would make the player base themselves just like go up a little bit in skill level because everyone or like more people would be trying to do harder content and they would learn and they would experience more.
Yeah.
And it would diversify the like player pool. I feel like in my head it sounds better. And there's no reason why giving us cool looking rewards is a bad thing.
I think that's something that we're actually like massively short on recently. I feel like they had it really good in Legion, where you had each class had an individual artifact weapon, which had
Legion.
multiple skins. Then you had like
Legion is not fair.
different sets, like even just the order halls, right, had the challenge mode like recolors. Just even
Yeah.
little things like that that looked cool, that just bring some life into your character, like in terms of transmog. I feel we have a lot of like sort of what I would describe as like Fortnite like skins. Like we have the Murloc costume, we have these ones from Dells, which is like a fish's head. And then we don't actually have that many new skins that are stuff that's like cool and like, you know, look badass anymore. I don't really feel like there's any like Thunder Fury skins anymore, or like Hand of Rags, like those sort of really cool weapons that you want to actually like transmog to. It's just some stupid fish or like, you know, stuff like that that just
It's not really
isn't
like.
cool.
I mean, you're right. It's a Fortniteification. Let's just say it's the like the the plain t-shirts, just the like the base color t-shirts kind of vibe. Like it fits with everything. Like you can make it fit anywhere.
Yeah.
And
The issue is, you're saying recently, like, we're like coming up to 10 years from Legion now. Like, we've had expansion after expansion with
Yeah.
nothing to grind. And the reality is, we know they can do it. We've seen the stuff in the trading post, right? Like, just
Yeah.
each season, you can say, but the reality is, like, there's new models in there, right? You don't have to like them, but they are making new models that are exclusive for trading post.
Yeah.
So you do
Sorry,
have the ability to, like, create this stuff. Just make it worth pushing for. There's no reason to not
Yeah.
have something to
Okay.
aim towards. And I think there's a lot of
Yeah.
players who are extrinsically motivated. Like, I don't care about Mythic Plus score, and I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way. Like, I hate doing Mythic Plus because it's a chore. If you give me something cool, like, oh yeah, at this point you get a mount, cool, I'll get the mount like I have done. At this point you get your armor set, at this point you get your weapons. Like, I'm going to grind that out because I want those rewards, and I'm sure there's a lot of
Yeah.
people like that. So just do it. I don't see
Yeah.
why they won't do it.
Yeah, I don't know either. The reason why I hesitated about the trading post thing is because I feel like there's a couple of like new skins, there's a new mount, and then they basically just add in like X color of legs and like 12 of the same item
Yeah.
that have
oh
existed
yeah,
since the
like
beginning of
all
time.
of the mantles and hoods
Yeah.
and all of the
Yeah.
skirts now and
Yeah, exactly. Like the leg wraps.
the
I am an advocate for
TMNT
it. I
vibe.
do think the trading post is only a positive, but I feel like there isn't enough in it that's like
And it shouldn't
good,
be where
basically.
all of the good stuff goes. Like, it
Yeah,
doesn't have to
yeah.
be. There's this weird sentiment that seems to have arisen that you have to have things accessible by almost everyone at all times. And I think it's fine to lock stuff behind difficulty.
Yeah, I agree. And even like mythic gear used to be like slightly different than the thing, and now it just feels like everything is the same, but it's just a slight recast color. Like heroic, mythic, historically they were different, right? And like now we just basically have it where they're just like different colors,
Yeah, I
and that
remember we
to
used to
me is
also get
boring and lazy.
animations and stuff on the armor in Mythic, and now it's like, oh yeah, now you get a little bit of mist that comes off the shoulders. Like,
Yeah.
Yes, dude. I was looking through my my like I was transmogging one of my characters, and I was looking at my gear, and I was like, why do I have two of the same? Is this like a bug or something? And then I had to like I clicked on the items and I looked at myself and I was like, oh,
yeah,
they're just the like the things that come out of the shoulders come
little
a little bit
sparkle.
more out of the shoulder.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
it's
at
crazy.
least, at the very least, I would say that in Dragonflight it was a little bit more exciting because the thundering was happening like everywhere. But man, I mean, like it's also like not that exciting, you know.
Yeah. Well, there is.
I fe-
We've been going a little while, but there is one last topic I would like to touch on before we round things out, and that is the new dinars. I want to get what you guys think on those.
I think I should be starting with
why
that.
it's not?
Uh,
I have no opinion because those dinars are not for me. They're for the top 0.01% of the gamers.
seems like a waste of time.
Yeah,
Oh no.
completely pointless. Delaying it the way
So,
they've delayed it.
so now let me try and frame it from what I've understood. These should not have been called dinars, and what these actually are the replacement system for the random roll chances you used to get. What would you think if it replaced that system and wasn't called dinars?
I still think it's way too late to be putting it into the patch the way they've done it, first of all. And then if they're going to call it that, they call it that. Don't start telling everyone that you're bringing dinars back in, and then don't make it the same and make it different, and then come up with like weak excuses for why they're doing that. It's pretty clear with all the outrage that people are having that they were expecting the same thing that we've had for the last two like fated seasons. Granted, we're not in a fated season, but I think they absolutely shot themselves in the foot and mismarketed it, and should have actually been honest with what they actually wanted to present to us, rather than say, you guys are getting a dinar, don't worry. And then now they've changed it and they're like, actually, you're not getting a dinar, you're getting some budget version of a dinar.
It's
Don't
such
we know?
it's such a weird own goal, right? Like, if they would have not called it that, they could have called it anything else and just been like, "This is our new system to replace the bad luck protection and bonus rolls." People
Yeah,
would have, I think, people would have loved this. I think people would have gone crazy.
yeah,
But because they
yeah,
framed it as a dinner,
dinar,
Did- uh,
dinar.
because they framed it as an old system that people have already got expectations for, they've absolutely ruined their own image. Like, they put the worst foot forward for themselves and ruined the presentation of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
again, it's the what's it called, like the corporationification of the game.
I
Like
don't really
I feel
understand
like
how it
they're
works
just
either.
using dinars as a way to sell us something. Like they're just using nostalgia all the time. It was the same when they brought back Arthas in Shadowlands. Like they just use him, and they defile his name,
But this
his
isn't
good
even
name.
something that would require you to ride on the coattails of something that came before it. Like, this is just, if they presented this as what it is and didn't call it dinars, it would have been well received, I think.
They're also
Yeah,
like,
I think so too.
I don't
But
actually
I
know how
mean,
it
again,
completely works now.
it's I mean, you get the it works the same as dinars do, except you can't get mythic track unless you kill the mythic boss for.
Yeah.
Like as long as you kill the boss, you can use your dinars to get whatever item you want. Uh, yeah, as long as you kill the boss.
But yeah.
So if you
Someone
haven't killed Bandit on Mythic, you can't get Mythic House of Cards or BIS. That's just how it is. So yeah, have fun to those like 10 guilds that have been Mythic Bandit. Like, good for them. But why introduce something that, like, I mean, I guess like all the people that are playing heroic and want to do mythic is still going to benefit from this because there's more people that have beaten heroic than mythic.
I think it is going to benefit people still, even if they are not mythic guilds. Like again, this whole issue has stemmed from the way they've sold it, right? Whoever's decided to deliver it this way is just needs to be thought about, managing customer expectations basically. Because as a bad luck protection system or as like a way of replacing bonus rolls, this is a way better system, and everyone without a Jester Diamond can now get one. Everyone who's missing like besting slot or the very rare backpack from
That is true.
Sprocket, they can all get one. But that's not what they were expecting. They were expecting pieces of mythic gear. So yeah, they've just made a mistake for an unforced error, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, like when you rephrase it like that, it does sound pretty decent. And it's not like yes, I don't know. I feel like again, but for us that are in, I guess it's like this, like what's it called, like the shadow realm, not the shadow realm. We're in this like grace or like this in between place where we have not really like the best targets ever, like us specifically. So
Yeah, so just
we
for
don't.
clarity for people listening, we are basically soon to be 4 bosses down in Mythic and progging on Sprocket, but there's not really anything you want from those bosses, and they're all very easily killable once you've done it once anyway.
Yeah, I mean we are probably gonna struggle more on sticks. Let's be real. The ball.
Nah, I think Styx dies on Sunday, to be honest.
Yeah, sure, but we're still probably gonna have, it's gonna take a little while to get him down easier.
But either way, that aside, right, like the issue is still, even once we kill him, like we're progging Sprocket, there's nothing. We're going to be holding on to these dinars because we don't need anything. What are we going to spend it on? Some heroic gear that's going to get replaced? Like,
I think what they've
Yeah,
actually
I
also
don't know.
said is that they're going to be giving each item like an extra 2 upgrades on them, right?
is that for all
So
items, even ones you
I
acquired
I don't
honestly
before?
don't
know.
understand.
Hero
It's
and
not
myth
really
track.
clear.
Yeah, but is it for
Only hero and
items?
myth track.
Is it for items that drop in 0.5, or is it retroactively being applied, or am I going to have to refarm gear?
It feels like only the dinar items are doing that, or maybe I'm misunderstanding it. Do you know about
I
Adam?
assumed it was retroactive.
So all hero track items and all myth track items will, and all crafted items will be able to go one step further, or 2.
2.
It says House of Cards will be at 672, which I think is from heroic. So that means that mythic will then be going to 680. And the reasoning behind it is they're saying they don't want to give people access who don't normally do high-end content access to 680 trinkets because they're going to make those slots obsolete for season 3, making that like any trinket you get in season 3 bad. But my opinion is between every season they always nerf like the old trinkets anyway. They always like basically gut them. So you always go into a new season with like weaker than you were in the previous season,
So
just based on the trinket like nerfs.
why can't, instead of just like nerfing all the trinkets, how about you make all the trinkets like more balanced? So having a trinket is like more nuanced than just, oh, this is the best trinket, have fun. Why can't they make it like more evened out?
I think they really struggle with balance in general, just because of the sheer amount of like all of the different
Like,
talents for all of the different specs with all of the different nuances of stat weights.
Yeah.
I think it's really
yeah, maybe
difficult
they
for them.
shouldn't fire their fucking QA team. How about that? Sorry for swearing, but like, holy guacamole! Like, how many? It's like a band-aid on top of a band-aid on top of a band-aid on top of like a pulsating, infested, rotting wound.
I mean, the reality is this is the state of the game now. I don't think that the way they develop the game is going to change anymore, if I'm completely honest. I'm pretty sure that this is going to be the way things just always go.
Yeah, definitely.
But you're just going to have whatever your crazy trinkets are. Like Eye of Kezan, if you've got a cheeky Eye of Kezi going into next tier, that's going to get blasted down if it starts overperforming. House of Cards, that's going to get blasted down just like Spy Masters was. Like, you just got to
Everything
accept
will
that
do.
all of your stuff's
Yeah.
going to get nuked, basically.
I would understand if they did it like after the first week or two.
No, that'd be even
So it
worse.
gives you
That'd
no,
be-
because if it gives you time, right, to actually still be like use your items from the previous
No,
tier
no,
to
no.
then that would make
Imagine the
more
outrage.
sense.
No, imagine the outrage, dude. Like, it would be fine for us because we'll probably still, like, realistically, if we're all playing and pushing, we'll probably, like, get heroic down in, like, 2 to 3 weeks. But if you're a slower guild or a guild that can't always get your group together and whatever, imagine after 2 weeks you're now weaker than you were previously. You'll be like, oh, you're catering to the 1%.
No, but it gives you that time to get the like upgraded trinkets right from the new tier. Is my point.
I don't think so.
But you wouldn't know that unless people,
I don't think those
unless they set
people.
that expectation.
I don't think the majority of the players will get that. Like, the majority of the players probably didn't kill Bugsy before us, I don't think. And if you then, after, like, the likes of our guild have killed it, decide to nerf the trinkets that people are using, it's like, good luck. Like, that's just, you're asking for a bad, like, public backlash from that. You either have to do it, like, immediately, or you have to just let it go and let it ride out for the expansion or the season, sorry.
Yeah, I guess they just need to be better at balancing then. Because then it just kind of feels shit to me that every time we go into a new tier, my trinkets that I've spent weeks and hours and whatever it is days farming, then just gets like basically gutted into oblivion, and I'm then weaker going into a new patch than I was like
The week
the
before.
rest of the expansion or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I don't disagree with you, but I mean, you can see what I'm saying, right? Like, the
Yeah, I
public
understand what you're
outcry from the
saying.
majority of the player base would just be not worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand.
But wait, like, you're supposed to get new gear anyways. So what's
Yeah.
the problem with them nerfing the gear that you're supposed to not still be using?
Because you need to do the content right to get the new gear, and the fact that it's getting nerfed before you even get into that content.
They're artificially
Just feels
reducing the
bad.
power, essentially, rather than
Yeah.
making the next stuff more difficult. They're bringing you down instead of catering the following content for your current power level.
The reasoning for it
Yeah,
is
but
because they can't then balance like all the trinkets to be, good and better than the previous tier's trinkets is the main reason.
that sucks. What the hell?
They could just do like a real boring thing and just make it like a stat stick, right? This trinket gives X haste. This trinket gives X strength. Or sorry, like strength and haste.
I like
This
the
and then
stats
the
stick.
next tier
I
it
enjoy
gives
it.
yeah, and then it just like your next tier, your next trinket from the next tier will be, X strength and X plus 10, whatever, haste, for example. Or whatever, whatever number it is.
Right.
That'd be super easy
Yeah.
balance, but I guess it's boring. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it
probably
is. That's the
topic
main
for another
problem.
day.
Yeah, that's true. We should probably go into loot. Loot probably does deserve like an entire episode on its own for us to complain about, no doubt.
Yeah, dude, that's gonna be really fun to watch.
Alright, we've been going for
Like,
almost 2 hours. Should we wrap up here?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess so.
sounds good.
Alright, any last words you
Let-
guys want to talk about anything?
No,
Yeah,
good.
we're gonna get sticks down tomorrow. We're gonna get sticks down before next episode.
Yeah, I believe. I believe.
Uh, it's
No
gonna be a
pressure.
good time. I don't know. We're gonna have some positive vibes, hopefully. Not be a Debbie Downer.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be fun. I don't think we'll struggle with it, to be honest. Like, we'll probably have a few wipes early on to silly stuff, then we'll get into the swing of it, and then we'll get it down, I believe.
Yeah, we're gonna blast. We're gonna blast. We're gonna blast.
Adam, you got anything you want to finish up on?
No, I think everything got covered.
Assuming you're good, Nukon?
Yeah, all good.
Chai has had to step away, unfortunately, so we'll assume he's okay with everything. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Goodbye.
Bye.
Floodgate S tier.